What's going on, my fellow A-plusers? Welcome back once again to a brand new episode of A-Plus Morphinominal, your stop for your Power Rangers, Super Sentai, Kamen Rider review and news right here on our YouTube page, going live along over on our Facebook page as well, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much, guys, for certainly joining us today. We have a stacked show in regards to a ton of content, not only from Power Rangers, but also from Tokusatsu news side of things as well. So thank you very much, guys, for certainly kicking off your weekend the right ways. We got a ton of stuff we're going to be getting into real quick. I know we've got a couple of people that are actually in our live chat with us today, so thank you very much, guys, for certainly stopping by. Some quick shout outs to you guys who are certainly joining us. We got Adam in the house. What's up, man? Thank you very much for coming through. Power Rangers Legacy, it's Morphin time. Thank you very much for coming through. Listen, you know, today out here, I'm actually in Fort Worth now since I moved, but Dallas, Texas, they've got a Dallas vintage toy store out in Dallas that's going to be having a couple of Beast Morpher actors out there today. We got Abraham that played Nate. You got Rory that played Devin, and of course Jazz Meat that played Ravi from Beast Morphers that are going to be out in the Dallas Vintage Toys store later on today, signing autographs and stuff. So listen, if you are in the Dallas or DFW area, if you want to go ahead and check them out, go ahead and take a trip over. I may not be able to make it that way today, unfortunately, with our live show. I definitely have a meeting later on today out in Louisville that I have to go ahead and certainly attend, and then traveling all the way back to Fort Worth. So I might certainly miss them. A little bit bummed, but hopefully they'll certainly be back. We've got a Dallas Fan Expo that's going to be here later on, I think in September. I don't know if they have any Power Rangers scheduled for that convention as of yet, but would certainly love to definitely have those guys certainly come back to the Dallas area. I feel like when it comes to Texas gets a ton of love from Power Rangers just because there's so many Power Rangers that actually come from Texas. So I think it's pretty cool. Koala's in the house. What's up, Koala? Thank you very much for coming through. You know what? I don't like this. I'm going to go back to just a traditional black for right now, at least when it comes to our comments. What's up, Frankie, in the house as well, man? Thank you very much. AJ in here as well. We got Blossom certainly coming through. Where you at, Blossom? There you go. We got Isaiah in the house as well. Who else we wind up getting? Marcelino Vasquez is in the house. Thank you very much. He says, hey, my dad's hogging the TV, so I'm forced to be here. Well, listen, Marcelino, nobody wants to force you to have to be here onto the show if you don't want to watch it. But it's always great to certainly have you on board whenever you get the opportunity to certainly come through. But guys, it's one of those days today. You know what I mean? I got a stacked show. I did some prepping before last night and today, but I just feel like it's going to be one of those type of shows. You know what I mean? So sit back, relax. I got my cup of coffee, even though it's not necessarily Yoda. I'm going to have to bring Yoda back tomorrow for tomorrow's cup of coffee for sure. But I do love me some coffee. You know, I've seen some people, you know, they have like Amazon wish lists and stuff, you know, like if your fan base wants to provide you with really cool content or really cool merchandise or products or whatever the case may be. I also see some people do like coffee. Like if you guys want to submit a coffee to me, I might have to really start dabbling into that type of stuff, especially considering the fact that I do love me a great cup of coffee in the morning. It really does go a long way to get my energy up. You know what I mean? Right in the veins. Who else we got? Brian. What's up, Brian? Appreciate you coming through. When is the 46th Sentai? I don't know. We're not even close to done with the 45th Sentai. So as of right now, Brian, I have no idea. I would assume next year, as always, around February or March. We haven't had any word yet, but I highly doubt that Zenkaiger is the last. We're at 45. We got to keep going. 45 years of Super Sentai. We got to keep going. We got to catch up to Ultraman, who's chilling at 55 right now. So Super Sentai's definitely got a long way to go. Trust me. Edward, what's up? Edward Sanchez Productions in the house. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Adam Pereira says, why do you think MMPR fans don't like anything that isn't MMPR? You know, that's a good question. I don't really know. Maybe there's a small fan base that's all into MMPR, but I'm not quite sure. Hopefully they're a little bit more open-minded and give other things a chance. I would think if you are an MMPR fan, Dino Thunder, maybe Dino Fury, Dino Charge, maybe right up your alley. Definitely go ahead and take a dabble in it, people. All right, guys, are you ready to go ahead and get into today's topics? because I certainly am. And listen, do me a big favor, guys. As people wind up coming in, because I'm sure we'll have some stragglers throughout the day, feel free to go ahead and certainly make them feel welcome in the comment section box, or make them feel welcome in the live chat as they wind up coming our way. So who else we got? See what I mean? Jamie says, what? In the house too, making his presence known today. So we tend to definitely get some stragglers from time to time, but make everybody certainly feel welcome as we go through our topic. So guys, let's go ahead and talk about it, because there's a couple of things that wind up dropping today that I was a really big fan of this past week that we wind up actually getting some news into. I'll actually talk about our main topic, which is actually what you guys see at the very front of the thumbnail. I'll start off with that first, as we finally got a collaboration happening between Power Rangers and Reebok. Now, if you guys have been following our channel for maybe for quite some time now, I want to say months ago, we actually announced that this was certainly happening. Tokusatsu Network, from what I can remember, was the first people to make this announcement that Reebok and Power Rangers were going to be teaming up together. We even highlighted some of the very early designs that we wind up seeing on here. So we've definitely been keeping you guys up to date. But guys, today is the day. If you want to get yourself some Power Ranger kicks and look fly as can be, Reebok certainly has you covered as of today, guys. So we actually wind up getting further collaboration in here, further announcements in regards to Reeboks and Power Rangers. They've got a whole line of shoes, along with some great boxes that the shoes come into, that if you get the entire collection, you can actually form the Megazord with the shoe boxes, which I think is pretty gnarly. They've got a couple of pictures over on Twitter already. You could probably find them on Google Images once you have all the shoe boxes put together. And the Megazord is pretty big. The Megazord itself is pretty big. You can kind of get a hint of it here in this photo that you get to see here, but it is from the Reebok website if you guys want to go ahead and check it out. But there are a couple prices that we'll go ahead and announce for you guys today. I know a couple of weeks ago, I think I was doing some searching for the Saber Tooth, like the yellow sneakers. And what I was finding, again, it was like from eBay though. So they were going for like $230, which is way more than I certainly was expecting them. But again, that is eBay. That's people trying to hike up that price, if you will. So we do have some brand new prices for you guys, as well as a brand new glimpse into the shoes themselves. And in fact, let me go ahead and pull up a picture for you guys. We'll definitely get into the details, but this is the main line of the 5 shoes. You get your yellow, your black, your red, your blue, and your pink or / white. If you want to. I believe the pterodactyl though is mostly for the ladies, but everything else I think is pretty unisex, perhaps, or maybe they're all males. I'm not quite all shoes for men, not quite sure, but we'll dive into that for you guys today. But some really great designs, if you ask me, some that really pop. You know, for me, when it comes to sneakers, well, I'm not the biggest sneaker collection. I definitely need to add some color to my sneaker collection, because I've got like all black, I've got gray. You know, I don't really have anything that pops like an all white. Well, I do have some white, but like an all red or even like an all blue or yellow. So I may dabble into some of these shoes. But let me go ahead and pull this up for you guys today, so we can actually go ahead and dive into the article here. This is from Reeboks. Let me make sure I'm getting the correct. Yeah, I believe is this the correct one? Yeah. Yes, let's do this. All right, so we got, this is from their Reebok website, Zords powering up, and you get to see the really cool animation that they wind up having in store for us. So here's all the shoes, guys. You've got some for kids. Oh, I hate when this bar pulls down like that. Like, why? I don't want that. But here you go. So you've got your basketball shoes if you want to, $180. Those are more Megazord type shoes for you guys. You've got your training shoes here, which comes through the all black, like the Mastodon, $150. Not bad pricing. As long as they're keeping them under $200, I actually kind of like the pricing of some of these. You've got the shoes, the lifestyle shoes right here, which I think actually comes in different colors as well if you'd like to, but clearly the red one is actually going to be for the T-Rex here, but that's coming through for $140. You've got the classic yellow, which Saber Tooth, only for $100, guys. Remember, I was looking at these for like $230, but you can actually get them for $100 if you'd like to, and then $120 for the women's classic. Looks those very much more high top shoes than anything else. Then you've got the kids shoes. The same here for the red, pink, and I believe this is not. This is definitely a more adult size, but this is 120 for the classics for Reebok. So yeah, guys, definitely go ahead and check those out. They even came out with like a little bit of a press release as well. So let me see what this press release says while we go through this. So it does have some highlights. It says for the Red Ranger shoes, that we get the opportunity to see here. It says the Red Ranger's impressive athleticism and powerful personality pairs perfectly with the Reebok's all-new Zig Kinetica. So that's pretty cool. It also has here for the Black Ranger, it says this version of Reebok's most versatile training shoe yet. The Nano X1 was inspired by the Black Ranger's sleek look, agility, and speed. And then you also have the Blue Ranger here. It says rather than being at the forefront of every fight, the Blue Ranger's power comes from within. The shoe even, what does it say? Oh, it says this Club C legacy pays homage to the Blue Ranger's work through the translucent sole, which shows an important aspect of the shoe that is often shrouded by the outsole. Okay, interesting. Then you got the high top Pink Ranger. It says the first workout shoe made exclusively for women is the perfect silhouette to present the Pink Ranger, known for promoting individual empowerment and investing in others by teaching aerobics at her community center. The shoe also incorporates pink stripes down the front of the upper that makes reference to the pterodactyl Zord, as well as a green broken heart on this inside strap that alludes to the Pink Ranger's relationship with the Green Ranger. What? I had no idea. Is that in the is that the, hold on, let me see if I can pull this up here. Oh, is that like where the Velcro is at? Is that what they're referring to? Here's a cool box that it comes in. I love this shoe design though. I cannot lie. Oh yeah, you do see the green. Damn, why Kimberly can't have her own shoe? You gotta somehow incorporate Tommy into her own shoe. Like, damn, Tommy's still getting by with Kimberly. My goodness, can't even. But I think it's a cool effect. I can't even lie. Then you got the Question Mid Megazord. It says the Question Mid Megazord, which is the high top. It says features a range of markers to represent the Zord, from the black and yellow logo on the tongue that resembles a Zord eyes to the V printed eyelet that emulates Zord teeth. The shoe also includes question mark on the right toe with an M for Megazord. So it does say that the Megazord will be available exclusively at Reeboks.com/power_rangers beginning June 29th. So June 29th, the Megazord shoes will be available. It says all remaining models in the collection will be available on June 29th as well. I thought I saw something that said the 26th, but I guess it's the 29th. I guess maybe they pushed them back to the 29th. I thought it was today. I apologize, guys, but it looks like according to the website, it says the 29th. But yeah, man, incredible shoes. I'm definitely going to be picking up one. I think for me right now, I'm kind of juggling between the yellow along with just the all black and the athletic, that one, or even maybe like the blue. I might even go with the blue. I'm not a big basketball shoe guy, so the Megazord, while looks pretty cool, I'm probably not going to pick it up. So I'm either going with the black at 150, the yellow at 100. What was the blue? The blue was 120. So I might pick one of those up. If you guys have had the opportunity to check out this Power Ranger collection, again, we've been keeping you guys up to date on this. This is our first time getting all as much detail as we've had since then. But I want to know your guys' thoughts. You see some of these shoe designs. Do you like the collaboration? This continues. Like, I really love this idea here. Power Rangers, now that it's been attached to Hasbro, I feel like Hasbro is definitely allowing their IP to kind of prosper in other forms. And apparel is always a pretty big thing. I mean, we know how impactful Mighty Morphin Power Rangers has been to just pop culture, society, and geek culture in general. So to be able to still wear your Mighty Morphin swag I think these will definitely be a hot seller, to certainly say the least. But guys, are you going to pick up any Reebok Power Ranger sneakers? What do you think about the presentation, some of the descriptions? Yeah, which ones are you certainly feeling? Go ahead and let your thoughts be known in the live chat or the comment section box below, ladies and gentlemen. I tell you, man, I love when they want to spoil us with great new merchandise. I'm definitely here for it. I have no problem wearing any type of Power Rangers apparel on my show. As you can see, I can't even remember where I got this shirt from, the Pink Floyd inspired Power Ranger shirt that I wind up getting. I think I might have actually gotten this from a convention, maybe out in Fan Expo when they came here, maybe like Teesprings. Was it Teesprings? No, I can't remember where I got this t-shirt from, but you know, Carson's Corner, .com. They do great apparel if you want to go ahead and start stocking up on your Power Ranger apparel. Even if you're not a big, even if you don't want necessarily Power Ranger apparel, they definitely do have a ton of like retro 80s and 90s like television shows and things like that, from all different types of apparel that you guys certainly might want. I did reach out to Carson's Corner this week. I'm probably going to go ahead and purchase like a headband for myself. You guys have seen me rock the headband from time to time. They actually do have one that comes in a variety of colors that could be used as either as like a scarf or a headband if you want to, if you've got a ton of hair like myself. So I might wind up picking one up. I think it's like 20 or 30 bucks or something like that. So definitely go ahead and check out Carson's Corner if you guys haven't had the opportunity to do so. But I definitely want to know what you guys think in regards to all the apparel that we've showcased to you guys so far. All right, with that out of the way, we will move on to our next topic today, and this will be in regards to Power Rangers Dino Fury a little bit as we continue to await episode number 12. We did do a little bit of, we did do a little bit of a preview for you guys last week, but this was the first time that we actually had episode descriptions that wind up dropping for us to give us a better insight as to what we can expect when it comes to Dino Fury episode number 12 as we inch closer to that particular episode. Still no release date as of yet, still currently waiting. Last time we heard No Pink Spandex mention the idea that episode 12 was going to be coming to Netflix, so we don't know exactly when we're going to be getting our next batch of new episodes, but I'm keeping my fingers crossed. Coming soon can certainly mean anything. It could be next week, it could be this week, it could be 3 months from now, who certainly knows, but it's definitely coming, to certainly say the least. So episode 12 wind up dropping an episode description. We pulled this over from Wikipedia. This is from episode number 12, Super Hotshot. It says Izzy is convinced a new coach is going to take her athletics to the next level. However, her training aspirations are put to the test when she discovers the coach's true motivations. True motivations from a coach that promises you glory and becoming better at what you're doing, and really just trying to swindle you. I don't know if this is like a gut punch to what did they call them on Instagram? Influencers, people that want you to like influence you to buy like merchandise, or who knows, maybe trying to influence you into buying their sort of methods of training, if you will. Like they've got the secret that you need to unlock your special athleticism, and maybe they're trying to get you to pay a pretty penny for not only their product but also their time and their assistance, to certainly say the least. So maybe Izzy's getting swindled here by one of her coaches that clearly, I think based off of the preview that we saw alone, I don't know why I have episode 9 description up here. I did correct it on here because I remember before I went live, I was like, oh, it says episode 9. So I wind up changing it to episode 12. So no, guys, trust me when I say this is just a typo, but this is episode 12. So yeah, episode 12 description, not episode 9. But we did see the trailer, a little bit of a preview as of last week with Izzy along with Javi. She's clearly mad at the idea that her trainer is suggesting maybe having to pay her a pretty penny in order to kind of help her out with her training. I always thought, I was at least under the impression that her father was her trainer, but I guess she's trying to get some additional help to, like I said, take her to the next level, if you will. But maybe this trainer is definitely trying to swindle Izzy out of some money. So a little bit of a bummer there. But for me, listen, I one of the things about Izzy that I tend to enjoy is her competitive spirit. You know, she definitely feels unique compared to other Rangers in the sense that she very much has her own personality. She comes across a certain way that's really unapologetic. And I don't think she certainly needs to be for that. You know, I have heard some people say that, you know, her attitude sometimes comes across the wrong way. For me, I kind of like the attitude. I kind of like the idea that, you know, we have a Ranger that's not necessarily goody two shoes all the time, you know, that is going to give some people that side glance or that look, or hell, maybe even that resting bitch face from time to time. You know what I mean? But I love the fact that Izzy is just true to who she certainly is. And she takes her competitiveness very seriously, clearly training. I mean, the fact that we saw in, what was it, episode 4, new recruits, when she's introduced along with Zato trying to give her interview. I mean, we kind of see how reluctant she is to give an interview, the idea of somebody stopping her in the middle of her training and things like that. So when it comes to Izzy and her trying to push herself and be the best, if you will, the fact of her finding a trainer and somebody that's taking advantage of her, I kind of want to see how she winds up handling that, and to kind of what light it really shows Izzy often as we get a little bit closer, right? Like, is she going to be super rude to this trainer? Is she going to give a trainer a piece of her mind? Is she going to stand up for herself? Like, I really want to see what Izzy's interactions are going to be like with this trainer that's clearly in it for her own benefit, if you will. So I'm eager to see what it's going to be about. If anything, I mean, we have seen the return of Weisel in here along with teaming up with Mucus. I'm still very much under the impression that this will not be an episode where the Gold Ranger is certainly revealed. This very much just feels like another Izzy-centric episode, and I'm here for it. You know, when it came to episode 5 that we saw her in her racing, we saw, was it Sarah that was, or Lily, I should say, that was training her. I am curious. I would assume, if anything, maybe Sarah Dalton, who played her, isn't going to be in this episode. The fact that it's Javi that winds up bringing Izzy her shake in here, which, if I remember, I believe it was Izzy that said that Lily always made up her shakes and things like that for her. So I'm not expecting Sarah Dalton to be in this episode, but we'll see. Maybe we get ourselves a little bit of a surprise here. But I'm definitely going to be looking forward to this Izzy-centric episode and see how she's highlighted in here. But guys, listen, you hear the episode description when it comes to episode number 12 of Dino Fury. What are some of your thoughts? Are you looking forward to this episode? Any particular reveals that you certainly would like to see? For me, I just hope that this is just a really great character growth for Izzy, and maybe a little bit of some great moments between her and Javi here this week. You know, we did see in the preview alone a brief phone call between Ward and Garcia, you know, asking Izzy, like, hey, are you at the forest training, or whatever the case may be, because there's a Sporix beast out there. Somebody did mention to me or ask me a question, I might have been last week, about the idea, like, why isn't Warden Garcia worried about Javi, right? Like, why didn't he ask what Javi's doing? I'm not necessarily under the impression that he knows that Javi and Izzy are certainly hanging out, so he's probably just addressing Izzy. But and I think that might be the extent of that we see Warden in this episode or hear of him. But I would be cool if Warden Garcia wants to pop back in here. Whatever's going to help further develop that Warden Garcia and Izzy and Javi sort of situation that we have. I definitely would love to see more of them. So maybe we'll get that in this episode. But regardless, when it comes to Dino Fury, you tell me a new episode's coming out, I'm going to be here for it, and I'm going to be hyped. So I'm definitely going to be looking out for this. But guys, listen, you hear the preview, you hear the episode description. What do you guys think about episode number 12? Do you think it's going to be another one of your favorites? Do you think it's going to be filler? Definitely go ahead and let me know your guys' thoughts in the live chat or the comment section box below. Let me go ahead and see what you guys are saying in regards to the first two topics that we talked about in regards to the shoes and whatnot. Let's see here. Mikey, what's up, Mikey? The shoes are fire. Yeah, I totally 100% agree with you there, man. I really do. I don't know what I would wear the yellow ones to, but I'm gonna pick some up just in case if it ever happens. Because I do like those yellows just pop at me. And you know what? From time to time, I do miss Trini, man. I do miss Trini, and I think it would be a really great homage just to pick those up, just to at least show my support for her as yellow, and just rock them on occasion. So I definitely might pick them up. Datilla says I want the pink ones though. Yeah, the pink ones look fire. I will admit, I think they all have come out with some really great designs. You do say I'm not liking the price tag on those shoes though. Yeah, again, for me, while I'm not a big shoe person, I mean, I think, who was it? JB? Was it JB or Tony Robinson? Somebody mentioned last week, I believe it was, or at previous times, the idea that when it comes to these type of shoes that they can be pricey, and consider the fact that I'm not a shoe collector. When I look at prices like that, it is certainly a little bit jarring. But for the yellow shoes, $100, I really don't think that's too bad. Even for the blue ones at 120, that again, I don't really think it's too bad. The workout shoes at 150 though, for like the Zach ones, that's probably stretching my wallet more than I certainly would like. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. If this Patreon pays off, maybe I can just show you guys what they look like in person. Isaiah, what's up, Isaiah? He says, today is my birthday today. Happy birthday, Isaiah. Everybody wish Isaiah a happy birthday, man. I hope your weekend goes great and hope you have a fantastic celebration, man. I really hope you do. Let's see here. Blossom says, I still can't believe Power Rangers will collaborate with Reebok. Yeah, for me, I certainly was not expecting it. When we talked about this months ago, thanks a lot to Tokusatsu Network for actually being on top of this months in advance of this actual reveal. But I was not expecting that at all. The idea of a Power Ranger themed shoe, I didn't think was a thing. But the fact that they're actually creating one, hats off to Hasbro for just spreading that Power Ranger wealth to other people. I think that's awesome. Let's see here. Blossom says that shoebox Megazord is totally sick. Yeah, you know what? Let me see if I can find a picture for you guys. Reebok Power Ranger Megazord box. For those of you who have not seen it, when you combine all the boxes together, you do really get some fantastic Megazord design. Let me see if it'll. Oh, it looks like this was actually exclusively revealed over at comicbook.com. Again, they were a couple of months late just because of the fact that. Oh, is this not going to work for me? Sum them up. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think this will work for me. Let me see if I can pull this off, though. Yeah, I mean, you guys get to see it a little bit on that opening shot that we put up from the website itself. But yeah, the picture that I want, I'm not able to find, but it's okay. Oh, here it is. Yeah. So here's all the boxes put together. I think that looks incredible. It's pretty damn big. Like, it literally reaches. So it looks like it's on a chair or on a stool. But then once you put all the boxes together, it looks like it actually almost reaches Homeboy's ceiling. So that actually looks pretty big. But yeah, so I'm kind of digging it. I'm assuming, if anything, yeah, you've got those are all different, like those look like the Megazord shoe boxes. That's pretty cool. I kind of dig that, but I definitely want to go ahead and show you guys what the design itself would certainly look like once it's actually all put together. I agree with you, Blossom. Why did they have to put a broken green heart in Kimberly's shoe? Yeah, like, she's an independent woman. You think she's sulking over Tommy these days? I highly doubt it. Like, why you gotta put Tommy on her shoe? Like, can't Kimberly just have her own pink shoe? Why you got to connect her to Tommy in any way? It's like that almost makes me feel like the heart sick or broken hearted girlfriend that's still thinking about her boyfriend years later. Like what? No. That ship sailed when Catherine came into the picture, okay? I'm pretty sure Kimberly not even thinking about this man. Adam going into Dino Fury episode 12. I really hope we get the release date of episode 12. Shows keeps getting better and better every time. You know, I'm actually considering again going through Dino Fury 1 through 11 this time. You know, we went back through 1 through 8 when we did our best of moments for the first half of season 1, and then we went ahead and did our individual reviews for episodes 9, 10, and 11 all on our channel at the moment. I may rewatch them all the way through, though. Blossom says, I love Izzy's tomboyish personality. Sam, my counterpart for Mio, would get along great with her. Yeah, I do love her personality. I know some people are maybe rubbed off of it the wrong way a little bit, but it doesn't bother me at all. I love the fact that we have somebody that has a mind of their own and doesn't act like necessarily everybody else. Koala says, I think August 28th on Netflix. It wouldn't surprise me. Listen, I think August 28th is Power Rangers Day, if I'm not mistaken. You know, whether or not Hasbro pays attention to that type of stuff, who knows? Frankie thinking the same thing as well. You know, I mentioned this to you guys last week when I looked at the episode description. There was a date posted up there, and I thought it was supposed to be released in August. But again, Wikipedia, anybody can certainly edit it. Anybody can remove or add things that they certainly want to. So Wikipedia is not necessarily the best place to go for like your confirmation on news and things like that. But that's what I glimpsed at, to certainly say the least. Whether or not August 28th will be the date, we'll have to cross our fingers and certainly see. But the fact that it's coming to Netflix definitely gets me pumped. Frankie says that shoe what red? I'm assuming maybe you want the red ones. Start saving up, Frankie. Start saving up. I think the red ones look great. I think they look great. JB says, what? Going back to the pricing of shoes. Yeah, I thought it was you, JB, that mentioned it, talking about the idea of you purchasing Jordans and stuff. So, yeah, you know, granted, Power Rangers ain't Jordans, but I think, again, if you're used to collecting Jordan shoes and forking over the idea of money for expensive shoes, the idea of seeing some of these price tags probably doesn't surprise many. What's up, Jordan? Thank you very much, Jordan, for certainly coming through. Speaking of Jordans, right? Thank you very much for coming through, Jordan. Good to see you. Captain RGD's in the house. Thank you very much, man, as always. He says, do you think Power Rangers can do movies and specials like Sentai does? You know, I'm always open to that idea. I wish they would get more elaborate with their stuff. There's a possibility that maybe we get things like that now in the future going forward with Hasbro. We'll see how creative they can be. I do love how Super Sentai is very creative with how they do these things, you know, like the idea of having episode zeros, mini series, you know what I'm saying, crossover events and things like that. Yeah, I hope Hasbro you know, takes some notes in regards to getting a little bit more creative with that. So thank you very much, guys. All right. Blossom says, I think the broken heart in her shoe is probably reference to when she broke up with him on Power Rangers Zeo via a letter. I thought of that just now. I mean, yeah, absolutely. I definitely get that, but you know, I don't necessarily need it for Kimberly. Like if you want to include Tommy in anything or Heartbreak for Green Ranger, just give the homeboy his own shoe. You know what I'm saying? Let Kimberly have her own thing. Let Kimberly have her own thing. That's all I'm saying. All right. Other than that, guys, let's go ahead and continue to move on with some of our topics today. One that I'm really eager to go ahead and get into with you guys today, because listen, Entertainment One continues to make acquisitions for their intellectual properties in regards to just shaping the future of their company, if you will. So yeah, we actually wind up getting an article today or this past week from Deadline.com. It says Entertainment One beefs up its television team with a hire of Fox's Gabriel Morano and Jacqueline Cesario, which adds to the duties. So listen, you know, a couple, it might have been last year, I think we've been talking really highly about how Hasbro not only made its acquisition of Power Rangers, but also made the huge investment in Entertainment One, which is a fantastic production studio that really is now allowing Hasbro to kind of create their own content within house and send it elsewhere. Last year, we talked about the acquisition of a gentleman by the name of Michael Lombardo. Some of you guys might actually remember that name when we talked about him highly. He was named president of global television for Entertainment One. And he's going to be serving, he's charged with creating content from Hasbro's library out of all of their properties. So he's going to be overseeing the television adaptation of Hasbro brands. So that's exactly what Michael Lombardo is. So when it comes to just key players for Hasbro and Power Rangers, certainly going forward, clearly you've got not only Jonathan Entwistle, but you got Michael Lombardo. But now, guys, we've got Gabriel Morano, who has in fact been attached to Entertainment One. Let's go and see exactly what Gabriel's position and what his main job is certainly going to be when it does come to Power Rangers. So let's go ahead, or I should say to Hasbro in general. So let's go ahead and dive into this a little bit. We'll go ahead and read this article for you guys. Deadline again, deadline.com, great source for your information. Entertainment One said on Wednesday that it has hired Fox executive Gabriel Morano as the executive vice president for scripted television. He will be tasked with overseeing the development of E1 partner Hasbro's IP, along with being a key part of the company's overall scripted development. It says both Morano and Cesario will report to Pancho Mansfield, Entertainment One's president of global scripted television. It says Morano comes from Fox, where he was a senior vice president for drama programming and developing and supervised scripted shows, including 911 and 911 Lone Star, both huge shows that have just blown up since their debut, along with Marvel TV's The Gifted, very underrated X-Men series, mind you. He's also been attached to developing and supervising Lucifer, which was a huge hit over on Fox before it wound up moving over to Netflix, along with another show called Deputy. Most recently, he oversaw the development of the upcoming Accused and Fantasy Island. So before that, he worked at A&E, where he oversaw Bates Motel and Longmire, among other shows. But before A&E, he spent nearly a decade at Fox Marvel Studios. So this guy, Fox Television Studios. So this guy has a ton of experience under his belt with shows like 911, 911 Lone Star, The Gifted, Lucifer, Bates Motel, Longmire, some really great television series. They say, we're delighted that Gabe is joining us as we expand our leadership team. With his impeccable taste, tremendous breadth of experience, and great working relationships across the industry, he will be a wonderful asset, and I couldn't be happier to work with him again. Gabriel Morano himself came out and had a couple words. He said, I'm thrilled to return to my studio roots to help shape Entertainment One's impressive development slate, and especially exciting to be working with the amazing Hasbro IP, which definitely includes, again, Transformers, G.I. Joes, Power Rangers, Dungeons and Dragons. I mean, Hasbro's got it all. I have grown up with so many of these properties, and I can't wait to bring them to life. I'm looking forward to working with Michael Lombardo, Pancho Mansfield, and a tremendous creative talent across the company. So, guys, and it says E1 serves as the entertainment arm of Hasbro after the toy giant acquired it for nearly $4 billion. Hasbro has more than 50 film and TV projects in development at this moment, whereas Entertainment One has more than 200. So guys, Gabriel Morano continues or will be joining the creative branch of Entertainment One to kind of help script a ton of television shows and series going forward. So Gabriel Morano, Michael Lombardo, really shaping how some of this intellectual property is certainly used. So when it comes to Jonathan Entwistle stuff, when it comes to any other sort of Power Ranger pitches, ideas, concepts, right? These are the guys that are certainly going to be picking and choosing what gets developed next, supervising its development. I would assume, if anything, maybe bringing in the necessary talent to actually do these upcoming projects that they certainly have in store. Now, when it comes to Jonathan Entwistle, like, I wouldn't be surprised if he's clearly shepherding in and doing all the creative storylines and the writings and the details. But if anything, if there is a boss, if you will, above Jonathan Entwistle when it comes to shaping this world, definitely Gabriel Morano and Michael Lombardo, just to kind of give you guys a better idea as to like the power when it comes to Hasbro and maybe how it works a little bit. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if it's like, you know, Brian Goldner at the top, and then, well, clearly when you've got like executive vice presidents and things like that, I'm sure everybody has to answer to somebody, but this guy will definitely be helping shape the direction that a lot of these IPs certainly goes in, and what projects are certainly going to be next and in development as these intellectual properties continue to develop. So Power Rangers continues to get another fantastic addition in regards to hopefully using his talent to give us great Power Ranger television in the future. Yeah, I love the lineup of stuff that he actually wind up putting together. So yeah, it's coming together for Entertainment One, to certainly say the least. I'm really excited by all the everything that's kind of going on behind the scenes. I mean, granted, it's still very secretive, but I have a feeling like Hasbro's almost really waiting for this massive moment to have these huge announcements and to give us like all these details in regards to what's going to be happening with the Power Ranger property. Because as of Dino Fury, after Dino Fury, we really have no idea what we're going to be getting. But listen, it's not like, you know, Dino Fury is ending tomorrow, right? Like, we still have all of season 1 this year, all of season 2 next year. So if anything, I'm not really expecting that newness from Hasbro to really start hitting televisions and theaters until something like 2023. But who knows? I have no idea what the game plan is for Hasbro, what their blueprint is, but they're definitely making the necessary moves to bring in incredible talent. Like, these people, Michael Lombardo, Gabriel Morano, they're not just slums off the street, right? Like, these people have a huge past where they've launched and they've had the opportunity to look over some incredible television shows over the past decade, if you will, whether that be from A&E, from Fox. Michael Lombardo comes to us from HBO, right? I mean, this guy is heralded in a ton of fantastic shows. These guys have, I think, I can't remember what the comment said, but it said Gabriel's got impeccable taste, right? Like, the idea that when he sees something, when he sees a project or he sees an idea, he knows exactly what's going to be a home run, right? He's got that great feel for it. People like Gabriel, along with Michael Lombardo, really do go a long way to kind of nitpick maybe out of all the ideas that they have and really see what's going to go ahead and push the market for a lot of these intellectual properties that they own. So again, while it's not necessarily just focusing on Power Rangers, they definitely will be doing other things like Transformers, G.I. Joe, Dungeons and Dragons, and things like that. And I think also the fact that Gabriel mentions in his comments that he's grown up with a lot of these intellectual properties, I wish he went into a little bit more details about, like, were you a Power Ranger fan growing up? did you were you big into GI Joe? Like, did you watch the movies and the cartoons and things like that? So I would love to pick Gabriel's brain and just kind of see what he used to watch as a kid growing up, and if he has a feel for really what the fans are definitely looking forward to. So I'm excited for this. I think this is going to be a very interesting era for Power Rangers, to kind of see what shows and what ideas really come out of this brain trust, if you will, over at Entertainment One. So guys, I want to know your thoughts. Gabriel Morano has joined Entertainment One to beef up their TV development, teaming up with other people from Entertainment One as well. What are your thoughts, and what do you think this certainly means for Power Rangers definitely going forward? So for me, if anything, guys, the future looks bright, if you ask me. I'd rather have people working behind the scenes that know what they're doing and are being brought in because of their success than having no idea what's happening. You know what I mean? So I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Real quick here, Isaiah says, what are your predictions, and what do you think is going to happen in Power Rangers Dino Fury episode 12? I mean, we kind of talked about it in our preview already, Isaiah, about what we're certainly expecting. If anything, maybe some, I don't know if we're going to get Warden Garcia and Javi information. If anything, I do think it'll probably be mostly an Izzy-centric episode where we get a little bit more spotlight on her and her personality and her growth, and continue to see that competitive spirit and that competitive side of Izzy, to certainly say the least. All right, guys, and with that out of the way, we will go ahead and transition a little bit over to some tokusatsu news for you guys, because we got a plethora of stuff. First and foremost, when it comes to tokusatsu news this week, Ultraman Trigger will be here before we know it. We've been highlighting Ultraman Trigger, I think, each week a little bit. I feel like more and more information certainly comes out, and we have mentioned the idea that we will be doing reviews for Ultraman Trigger. If you guys have not dabbled in Ultraman, this might be a great opportunity for you to certainly jump on board with us, as well, as this will be our first time reviewing any Ultraman show on our channel. But we wind up getting some new details in regards to the upcoming series. Why isn't this changing on me? Did my internet just drop or something? Okay. Johnny Morero's in the house. What's up, Johnny? Good to see you as always. So Rob in here as well. Thank you very much, man, for certainly popping in. Wasn't sure if you guys were going to be joining us today. Sorry about that. My thing was like lagging a little bit. I was wondering what was going on. Quick shout out also to Enrique Perez making his presence felt in here. He says, I saw the Zenkaiger movie. It was amazing. Kind of uses all the red Sentai gears, all of the 44 red Sentais has gathered. Thank you very much, Enrique. I'm glad that you had the opportunity to check it out. I have not watched it as of yet. I wasn't under the impression that they had one in English subtitles as of yet, but maybe there is an English dubbed one. I'll have to try and do some research and see if I can find it. But going back to Ultraman Trigger, if you guys are interested in checking out Ultraman Trigger, you will have the opportunity. It will be made easily accessible for us here in the States to follow along with Ultraman. This is really what I wish that that Toei would do for like all of its products, from Kamen Rider to Super Sentai. I wish that they kind of did this simulcast, if you will, because I think it does nothing but just continue to grow your fan base by making your content accessible to others, which is something that I think Toei should probably learn from Subaraya. So we'll see what happens here. But this is, if you guys are interested in checking it out, let's go ahead and pull this up and see how you guys can certainly watch it. This comes to us from tokusatsunetwork.com, certainly coming through with great news and great source of information. Ultraman Trigger YouTube release, and we've got an English logo revealed. Get familiar with this logo, guys, because you'll be seeing this on a couple of my thumbnails. But it says, in an article on Ultraman Galaxy, Subaraya released information about the English logo and YouTube release scheduled for the upcoming show Ultraman Trigger. Following the release model of Ultraman Z, which they did the same thing for, fans can watch the entire series on YouTube after each episode airs in Japan. The first episode will premiere on Ultraman Official, which is their YouTube. The first episode will premiere on Ultraman Official on July 10th, which is Friday, July 9th at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. So for me, that would be 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. If you're on the West Coast, then that's 5:30 p.m. your guys' time. Each episode will be posted in Japanese with English subtitles and will only be available for 2 weeks. So yeah, guys, once the first episode winds up dropping and premiering, that premieres July 9th, but for us, it'll be Friday, July 9th. July 9th at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. So mark your calendars, guys, if you want to go ahead and watch the simulcast. Subaraya also released the English logo for Ultraman Trigger. So that's the logo right there, guys. Again, get familiar with this logo because you certainly will be seeing it pop up on a couple of our thumbnails as we continue to review Ultraman for you guys. This does make me want to go back and watch Ultraman Z. Maybe if I can. When is July 9th? That's like 2 weeks away. Yeah, that's a little under 2 weeks away. 2 weeks as of yesterday. So maybe in my spare time, maybe I will watch an Ultraman Z series and then dive right into Ultraman Trigger and start reviewing that for you guys here on our channel. If anything, I did also read an article from Tokusatsu Network that Ultraman Z, the actor that played Ultraman Z, that character will be having a guest appearance in Ultraman Trigger. I don't know if he's going to be a recurring role or if it's just a guest cameo for one episode, but the Ultraman Z character will be in Ultraman Trigger as a guest cameo. So we'll definitely have to see how that works out. But again, guys, Ultraman Trigger, Friday, July 9th, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. It will be on the Ultraman official YouTube page. I've already subscribed to it, already got my notifications ready. So guys, yeah, I'm ready to get into some Ultraman. I'm so pumped for this. I'm so pumped for this. Every preview and every trailer that I've seen, the cast announcements and stuff, it looks like it's going to be fun. And the fact that it's taking place in space on a Mars colony, count me in. I'm a sucker for sci-fi adventures too. So this feels like it's right up my alley. But guys, I want to know your thoughts. You hear this now, the fact that you know it's going to be easily accessible for you, will you be checking out Ultraman Trigger with us, guys? I definitely want to go ahead and know your guys' thoughts. Maybe I'll do a little bit of a mixture of things. Maybe I'll do a review for Ultraman Trigger, and maybe while I'm watching it, I'll record reactions, edits, maybe just put out like a brief reaction video accompanied with the actual review that you guys will certainly get. So we'll see. We'll see how we dabble and have some fun with it here. But Ultraman Trigger will be here July 9th, Friday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time, guys. So definitely go ahead and mark your calendars. Let's see here. Charles, what's up, Charles? Charles certainly coming through today. He says, will Power Rangers reboot use Sentai footage? If not, will Saban spend money to make long-term sets of series? ASJ calls him cheap. Let's see. Well, I will say this. Saban is no longer attached to Power Rangers, so we don't really care about Saban around here anymore. If right now, if anything, Hasbro's the owner of Power Rangers, so they will make all those decisions. So if not, will Hasbro spend money to make a long-term set of series? I believe so. I don't necessarily think that you spend a $512 or $500+ million for a franchise if you're not invested in putting money towards the show, right? Like one of the things that we talked about, and I'll just say this real quick. You know, will the Power Rangers reboot use Sentai footage? As of right now, I'm very much under the impression that no, it will not. You know, when they've mentioned the idea that Jonathan Entwistle is going to be rebooting, reimagining Power Rangers, bringing it to us like never seen before, I'm not under the impression that the reboot is going to be using Sentai footage. Now, whether or not the kid show, the kid aspect of this new reboot will, that I'm not sure. I'm under the impression that no Sentai footage will be utilized after Dino Fury. I mean, we clearly already see when it comes to Dino Fury as it is, they use very little Sentai footage. It's a ton of original footage in there. And one of the things that we've talked about too, when we mentioned the whole potential Hasbro and Toei split, if that comes into fruition, to me, it makes sense because of the fact that one, you're now able to create whatever it is that you want to create. You don't have to worry about creative handcuffs, adaption struggles, or anything like that. We already see when it came to Beast Morphers that Hasbro was upping the budget to the show. The first season, I think, was like 20 million. I think the second season of Beast Morphers was like 22 million. It wouldn't surprise me if they gave Dino Fury a little bit more. And so for me, I think that if you are Hasbro and you are making a Power Rangers reboot, if you spent 500 plus million, keep spending more money to make the original footage look as incredible as it can. And if that means having to create long-term set pieces and designs that will last you a couple of years, put that money towards it. Why not? Put that money towards it. I don't think there's any reason to start becoming cheap now. I think that was the problem with Power Rangers to begin with, was the fact that Saban was a penny pincher. That he was pretty cheap, not necessarily wanting to put a lot of money behind the product. But that's not a key to success. If you've got the money, if you're invested, and Hasbro is invested, $512 million, put more money towards the Power Rangers shows. Up that budget to 30 million, 40 million, 50 million. Who certainly knows? But I don't know if we're going to go so far as to say like Game of Thrones level, like spending $100 million per episode type thing, or per season type of thing. I don't think we're going to get that. But I definitely do think we'll get a bump in production value when it comes to a Power Rangers reboot. So as of right now, Charles, I'm not under the impression that they will be using Sentai footage. But again, that's just me. Hasbro hasn't come out and confirmed anything, but I'm just leaning towards that. And I have been for quite some time. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Isaiah says, what do you think? And what are your predictions? Oh, I already did that. Yeah, we already wish you happy birthday, Isaiah. Look, you trying to get all the glory today in this episode, aren't you, man? I see what you're doing. But yeah, I think he's just attached to it, as AJ says. Saban's name is only credited in opening credits and end credits, executive producer and creator. Since he founded Power Rangers, his name will probably kind of be attached for quite some time. But make no mistake, he's not pulling any of the strings. He's got no say in regards to how much money is being put towards or anything like that. That's all part of Hasbro as of right now. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get into our next topic. This will certainly be a little bit of a brief topic for you guys. But if you guys were big Kamen Rider 01 fans, we wind up getting ourselves a brand new trailer for 01 Others, as we get the Vulcan and Valkyrie trailer that wind up dropping, along with a brand new poster, mind you. I love this poster. Getting the opportunity to see Vulcan and Valkyrie's updated costumes, if you will, their upgrades in here. Also, right on the very front of this poster, just looking sleek as can be. They wind up actually dropping a brand new trailer. Let's go ahead and pull that up here. I'm not going to show any sound. I may pause from time to time so I can avoid that copyright claim. You know what I mean? Because Toei don't F around these days, to be perfectly honest with you guys. But let's go ahead and dive into this real quick. Let me go and pull this up again from Tokusatsu Network. Again, coming through with the great information here. But the trailer and theme song have in fact been revealed. I would recommend you guys, again, going to tokusatsunetwork.com and checking this article out for yourself if you want the trailer to be played with sound. So it says the trailer and theme have been revealed for the upcoming Vulcan and Valkyrie, coming out on Blu-ray and DVD on November 10th. I was surprised. I thought this was actually going to the theaters, but it looks like it's going straight to Blu-ray and DVD. But it's going to be available November 10th, expanding from the first preview where we saw Yui and Osamu challenging Kamen Rider Metsu. This latest trailer features footage of Vulcan and Valkyrie's newest form, the Vulcan Lone Wolf and the Valkyrie Justice Serval. In addition, several questions are raised, like why are Kamen Rider Metsu after Yua? Now separated from the Zaya Enterprise, the souls are split amongst themselves between those who side with humanity and those who side with Humagears. Whose justice will prevail? And lastly, what does Aruto request of Fua? What does this mean to be a Kamen Rider? And then, of course, you get their theme song, SOS, and then the Valkyrie and Valken's theme song, Frontier, will be, which will be performed by Monkey Magic. Okay. But yeah, guys, you get the opportunity to see that there. There's a little bit of a tease. There's Arturo popping back up in here as well. Ooh, I tell you, man, those costumes look freaking fantastic. Boom. All right, guys, I'll leave it at that for now. But yeah, guys, if you get the opportunity, check it out. Oh, they do have movie tickets. Here we go. Prospective theaters. Okay, so here we go. For a second, they got me confused with this article as to like, why are they just announcing when the movie is going to be released on Blu-ray and DVD? Like, can you give me a release date for movies? It will be in theaters. Vulcan and Valkyrie have a limited theater screening in Japan starting August 27th. The movie will then be released November 10th. So yeah, and then of course there's a soundtrack available and things like that too. So August 27th, it'll be in theaters. Man, I gotta tell you, this little things like this that make me wish I lived in Japan. You know, just a limited theater screening. Why not? Who knows? Maybe like, what's that, a week or two, maybe? Just checking out maybe an hour-long episode of with more cinematic feel. There are times like this when I wish that Power Rangers did these little things for a lot of our content. You know, just limited releases, I think, would go a long way. Just change it up a bit. So we'll see what happens here, guys. But listen, I want to know your guys' thoughts. You see the brand new poster here. You got the release date. You see a brand new trailer. Again, I would definitely go ahead and recommend checking it out. Are you guys excited for this? If anything, when this drops, I'll see if I can get Stuart to go ahead and do a review for us, since he does most of the reviews when it comes to Kamen Rider. He's continuing to do Kamen Rider Saber right now for you guys. So if you haven't checked out his work, please go ahead and do so on our channel. And real quick, guys, before we even move on, first and foremost, I want to give you guys a shout out and just thank you for all your continued support here at this channel. You know, A+ Morphinominal has been around for quite some time. If you look at our YouTube page, it certainly doesn't seem like it, but make no mistake, we were around since 2012, 2013 as another channel called A+ Opinions. We've been doing Power Ranger reviews since, goodness, what was it? Did we do Megaforce? I can't remember if we did reviews for Megaforce or not. But we've been doing reviews for Power Rangers and Super Sentai for the maybe past a few years now, since 2013 and 14. But you know, at the time, unfortunately for us, last year we had to go ahead and shut down our channel due to copyright strikes from Toei. Big FU Toei for that, by the way. So we lost our channel, unfortunately, back in August or September of last year. It was a struggle. We were stressing the hell out. And that's what made us decide to go ahead and launch this channel here in A+ Morphinominal. And I feel like we've been going pretty strong for our first year out. Today, we actually hit 800 subscribers, guys. 800 subscribers to our channel. Nowhere close to our 15 and 16,000 that we had at A+ Opinions. But you know what? We didn't get there overnight. It definitely took a lot of hard work and things like that to definitely get to where we were. So the fact that we're at 800 right now, we're pushing towards 1,000, guys. We're pushing towards 1,000 subscribers. So listen, if you haven't subscribed to the channel and you continue to love our content, please do us a favor, hit that subscribe button along with that bell notification. So when we do drop brand new videos, you'll certainly be notified. It definitely does go a long way. But I just want to thank you guys for all your support. Whether you were a follower of ours when we were A Plus Opinions, or now here with our own channel and A Plus Morphinominal. If you found us from back then, or whether or not you're a new viewer to the channel, thank you very much, guys, for your continued support here. It definitely does go a long way. Continue to see our subscriber count go up just helps us continue to be motivated and want to go ahead and continue to give you guys brand new content on a weekly basis. So thank you very much for all the support that you guys have certainly given us over the years. And if you guys continue to love our stuff, again, the like button goes a long way. Hitting that thumbs up, leaving comments at the end of our videos if you have further things you want to discuss or further thoughts that come to your mind. And feel free to share these videos at any particular point in time, guys. It's really because of you that we've definitely have grown, and all your outspokenness about A Plus Morphinominal. So thank you very much, guys. It really does mean a lot. But yeah, I just want to go ahead and give you guys that proper shout out that you guys definitely deserve for everything and helping us continue to grow. All right, guys, with that out of the way, we've got 2, maybe 3-ish more topics we'll get into. This one is more of a scheduling thing when it comes to our tokusatsu shows, that because of the fact that we're going to be having the Olympics here rather soon over in Japan. Was it Tokyo? I believe they're having it at. This might, in fact, cause a delay from some of our shows here. So this article actually came to me from, where is this from? NihonHero.com. Now, I'm not too familiar as to how reliable this particular website is, Nihon Hero. It sounds super familiar. I haven't really pulled too many stories from them before, but this one jumped out at me to give us a heads up that we might actually be having ourselves a delay in Zenkaiger and Saber because of the Olympics. So let's go ahead and dive into this just a little bit, guys. Again, this comes to us from NihonHero.com. And let's get into just some of the what this, because it looks like they took this picture off of maybe a magazine. I can't read Japanese, so let's see what it says. It says, in a recent article, we came to know that Zenkaiger will be going on hiatus for making way for the Olympics broadcast, though we didn't know the details of Kamen Rider Saber at the time to confirm its hiatus. But the new scan from the Uchusen magazine leaked confirmed that even Kamen Rider Saber will be put on hiatus. Currently, it's only known that both shows won't broadcast on July 25th. So considering the Olympics date, probably the hiatus will last for 3 weeks. That is, there will be no Super Sentai broadcast on August 1st and 8th. The hiatus will also make us recalculate the possible numbers of Saber episodes to 46 instead of the previously assumed 50. Maybe that's possible. Other than that news about the hiatus, Kamen Rider episodes 42 and 43, which are going to air July 4th and 11th, respectively, on July 18th, instead of the regular Kamen Rider Saber and Zenkaiger airing, there will be a special broadcast titled Movie Release Commemoration Combined Special, which is directed, it says, as for now, it is believed to be a 1-hour TV crossover special. So it looks like what they're saying here is that July 4th, July 11th, we'll get episodes, and then July 18th, instead of an episode, we'll probably be getting ourselves a bit of a special, because I believe Superhero Senki, the movie, winds up dropping like on the 22nd. So that might be maybe commemorating the movie that's going to be dropping. And then it says on July 25th, there won't be a broadcast either. So it looks like July 25th, August 1st, and August 8th, maybe due to the Olympics, we may not have Saber and Zenkaiger episodes for you guys. Oops, why do I have this? Oops, my bad, guys. My bad. So again, I'm not at all sure about this website, NihonHero.com. If you guys are more familiar with their stuff, please go ahead and certainly let me know what you guys think. But it does look like, according to them, there's going to be a delay. Again, July 25th, August 1st, and August 18th. So maybe mark your calendars. We'll see how that winds up changing the release schedule for either Saber or Zenkaiger, certainly going a long way. This is the first time that I've heard of it. This article, it looks like, when was the posted date? 3 days ago. I haven't really heard anybody else talking about this. Like on my other websites that I usually follow, I haven't heard anybody else bring up the idea of a upcoming potential hiatus. Maybe it's just articles that I've happened to miss, like Tokusatsu, was it Toku Nation, I believe? Like, they haven't posted anything about a delay or hiatus. JEFusion.com, I don't believe, has written anything about a hiatus. So the fact that Nihon Hero is the one, like Tokusatsu Network, I haven't heard them mention anything about a hiatus. So we'll see. We'll see if this actually comes to fruition. Like, it would make sense to me, especially when it comes to the Olympics. But I haven't heard anything official yet. So keep your ears open and your eyes open, guys, and we'll see what happens there. But I hope we don't get one, but we'll see. We'll see. All right, guys. But yeah, I definitely want to know your levels of disappointment, if that's the case. I've actually been enjoying the past few Zenkaiger episodes. I've been enjoying the momentum that it certainly has been bringing out, I'd say, with the past two Toji worlds that we've been getting, like the idea of Gigi, the bird, sort of picking some of the villains for our Zenkaigers to face off against. It's brought for some pretty entertaining and interesting dilemma for the Toji Tendo and our Zenkaiger. So, you know, if they are going to continue with this momentum, it kind of sucks that a delay might go ahead and halt some of that. But we'll see. We'll keep you guys posted each and every week if more details wind up actually coming to us. So definitely do not worry. Let's see here. AJ, he says, I've been on here on A+ Morphinominal, former A+ opinions for 3 years now. I'm an OG viewer. So thank you very much, AJ, for certainly sticking around with us since our A+ opinions channel days. So Rob just says, yes, Adam, and the Olympics will be held in Tokyo, which I'm a fan. Look, listen, I love the Olympics. I truly do, especially the Summer Olympics. You know, I don't mind Winter Olympics, but, you know, I've never been on a pair of skis in my life, so it doesn't really appeal to me so much, with the exception of like the jumping that they do off of the massive hills and things like that. The speed skating is always intriguing. Curling, which I think has become more popular these days, I think was an Olympic sport that's pretty interesting, but I'm more of a Summer Olympics guy, so I probably will be watching some of the Olympics here this year. So Rob says, speaking of which, considering that Tokyo has a lackluster report for vaccinations, what are your views on the Olympics being held this year? Yeah, I thought I read something like one of the other countries' teams, like, were all like COVID positive or something like that. Listen, man, you know, I don't know how I feel about it. I really don't. You know, I've also heard the idea that they may do the Olympics without an audience. I mean, if they want to do it without an audience, that's fine. I don't mind certainly watching that. But still doing the Olympics, like, I've been hearing the idea of maybe holding out the U.S. from going to, I don't know, like, all this stuff should have been thought out even more thoroughly like a year ago, guys. Or I know information changes as more details wind up coming in, but, you know, I almost felt like if you want to compete in the Olympics, you got to get vaccinated, you know. I don't know. I don't know if you can make those type of rules or restrictions on people, though, especially these days. Everybody gets so butthurt about decisions that are made. So I don't know. I will tell you this. I wouldn't want to be in the Olympics board shoes at this moment to have to make these tough decisions. Will I watch it? Absolutely, because it's the Olympics. Do I think it's a smart idea? I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. AJ says, I do like how you still use the name A+ Opinions for your social media accounts. Well, listen, you know, A+ Opinions is our banner. It is the name of our sort of company and business, if you will. A+ Morphinominal and A+ Hero Report are just like subcategories for that, if you will. One of the reasons why our Facebook page is A+ Opinions, our Patreon account is A Plus Opinions, right? Because it's our overall banner for what we're certainly pushing forward. So we'll definitely always keep A Plus Opinions around because that's what we're certainly pushing forward with. Let's see here. Oh, Blossom, you've been. She said, I loved your review since I first saw your reviews for my favorite Sentai, Tokuger. Blossom, I had no idea that you watched our Tokuger reviews. I'm really glad to hear that. So I think that's awesome. Thank you very much for certainly sticking around after our Tokuger reviews. If anything, maybe I'll see if I can find my Tokuger reviews. I do have a backup drive with some of my old videos that I used to do. I may not be as dynamic with how I talk and present myself. It still was very much a learning process for me to learn myself in front of the camera, if you will. So, you know, maybe a little bit drier than normal, but we do have Tokuger reviews along with like Ninja reviews still on my backup drive. So maybe I'll try and see if I can find some of those and post those up like during a Throwback Thursday for you guys or something. So we'll see. Datilla says, AJ introduced me to your channel, so I'm glad he did. It's an amazing channel. Thank you so much, Datilla. I really do appreciate that. It really does go a long way. And thank you very much for continuing to like our stuff on Twitter, sharing our retweeting our stuff. It really does go a long way, guys. So thank you very much. All right, guys. And then last but not least, we've got one more topic, but like 1.5, if you will. But right around the corner, it's been a minute since we've had one of these. I'm trying to remember the last time that I watched one. Was it Ninja and Gaim or Game or whatever that Kamen Rider series was? Or was it Go Busters and Gaim? I can't remember. It's been a while since we've had like a Super Sentai and Kamen Rider crossover event. The superhero Tension movies and things like that were always pretty fun back in the day. I used to watch a ton of those crossover events, but it's been a minute. It's been a minute. But guys, we're about to get ourselves another one here. Superhero Senki is going to be here before you know it. This comes to us from Toku Nation, as we wind up getting ourselves our very first trailer in regards to it. Now, they've already showcased to us the poster before, which looks absolutely glamorous. So many different Kamen Riders and Sentais to certainly explore. So great poster. If you guys haven't had the opportunity to see it yet, I'll go ahead and pull it back up here for you guys in a minute. But when it comes to Kamen Rider, when it comes to Superhero Senki, it says Toei has released the full trailer for the upcoming Super Sentai Kamen Rider crossover film Superhero Senki. Let's go ahead and pull this up for you guys. Again, because of copyright, I may not show the entirety of this, but if anything, I will go ahead and at least show a little bit of it. Maybe we'll jump throughout this trailer and see what we get. But it says, made to celebrate the 50th anniversary of Kamen Rider, along with the 45th anniversary of Super Sentai, this new film adventure features the Forbidden Wonder Ride books that tell the stories of tokusatsu legends and a mysterious young man with a connection to their ancient writings. So we get to see a little bit of that. Let me jump ahead a little bit also. See the Zenkaiger's involvement here with Toma from Saber, which looks like it's going to be a great sort of combination of the two. Great. Honestly, I think it's a great pick of set selection of where you're going to be filming at. They got some great, Doggy Kruger's up in here also. Yeah, they've got a plethora of Kamen Riders and past Super Sentai. Like anytime we get massive wars like this, count me in. I just love just the huge level of combat that they provide us with each and every time we get something like that. Like at one point, like can we? I know it's different, but I would love to even see Ultraman get in on this fun, to be perfectly honest with you guys. But one of my favorite shots in here too comes from the very end as we go old school with our Kamen Rider and Super Sentai, as we got Aqua Ranger and the original Kamen Rider about to rush in the battle together. It gives me goosebumps every time that I absolutely watch it. I think it looks great. But yeah, if you guys want to check it out, you guys certainly can do so. You can probably find it on Twitter if you want to. TokuNation.com, again, certainly has it available for you guys if you want to watch the entire trailer itself. But due to copyright, unfortunately, I can't showcase the entire thing. But it looks great. I again, big battle pieces always is a huge thing that I absolutely love. Going back to these classic Super Sentai and Kamen Rider teams, bringing in past villains that that they've had to fight in the past, also right up my alley, if you ask me. So if you guys are big fans of Saber or of Zenkaiger, this is probably going to be right up your alley. I do wonder, like, and the only issue that I've always had is because of the fact that I haven't really dabbled into Kamen Rider so much. There are things that I clearly miss or don't feel like connections to and things like that when I watch these type of movies. But they always usually have great storylines and great actions. And I'm always a sucker for crossover events between Kamen Rider and Super Sentai. Hasn't been done in quite some time. So the fact that they're doing this again, it's going to be massive. It's going to be massive. So regardless if anything, if this does become available like English dubbed, maybe this is something that I'll end up reviewing with Stuart, because if he's doing Kamen Rider Saber reviews and I'm doing Zenkaiger reviews, if they're gonna have a crossover, we're gonna have a crossover. You hear me? So and plus, I think his insight will be really great from a Saber point of view for tackling this movie. Even though I know he watches Zenkaiger as well, maybe he does. I don't know if he's fallen off of it or not, but I think it would just be great for us to do a little bit of a crossover event ourselves. So I'll talk to Stuart and see if he's down for that actually happening. But yeah, guys, you see this. What are your thoughts? Again, let me go ahead and pull up that poster for you guys if you haven't had a chance to check it out. Clearly get to see our Zenkaiger team, Saber in there also, some pretty recent Kamen Riders as well, past writers and Sentai all the way at the bottom. But you know what else you do see here, guys? Do you know what else you do see here? And this has been around for at least probably a good week or so. This might have actually dropped after we went live with our show last week. I can't remember. Kamen Rider Revice, ladies and gentlemen. Kamen Rider Revice. We talked about it here a couple of weeks ago. The trademark that Toei went ahead and picked up for Kamen Rider Revice. And over the past couple of weeks, people have been pushing the idea that if you look at the very top, like right over here-ish, you get the opportunity to see Kamen Rider Revice, ladies and gentlemen. Let me go ahead and highlight that for you guys here a little bit. Also, going back to that dinosaur theme, that dinosaur motif that we heard some of the grain of salt rumors that they certainly had a couple of weeks ago. So this is our first reveal and our first look at the brand new upcoming Kamen Rider series that we're going to be getting. Clearly, Revice is going to be the one with the blue and pink on, with the teeth showing. Big red eyes, still sporting sort of that V shape that Kamen Riders are well known for, with that gigantic pink V that he's rocking. Looks like he's even got some I don't want to say claws, but some rather long nails at the very end as well. I'm kind of liking the color scheme here. The other rider that we have is the one right behind it as the second rider. I don't believe that they've come out with a name in regards to him as of yet. But we'll see. There's really no official details as to Kamen Rider Revice, but I kind of dig the designs. I feel like they're actually pretty unique in their own sense, especially the second one with that gnarled sort of mouth, if you will. It's almost a mixture of like a dinosaur and like very vampire-esque with the pointy ears, the jagged teeth on the ends, if you will. I don't know why I get like vampire monster-esque kind of vibes from that second one. But listen, the dinosaur theme has never really been done for Kamen Rider before. It's overdone for Super Sentai for some fans, so I kind of chuckle at the idea that they're like, you know what? We want to do dinosaurs again, but we can't do it for Super Sentai. Let's just throw it on Kamen Rider this time and see what'll happen here. So I might check it out. I might check it out and see what it's all about. Then again, I did say that for Kamen Rider Saber, and I dropped off after like the first 3 episodes of this season. But Kamen Rider Revice will certainly be here before we know it, guys. I know Saber is certainly dwindling down for its series as well. So I'm definitely fully expecting here within the next week or two for us to get further details. Who knows? We might get ourselves some magazine scans and some details pretty soon. So we'll definitely keep you on board here each and every week. You guys know, anytime that there's new information for Power Rangers, Super Sentai, Kamen Rider, we're always going to keep you guys, I should say, start saying Ultraman too. We'll definitely go ahead and keep you guys posted. But I want to know your guys' thoughts. Our first look at Kamen Rider Revice. Do you like some of the designs? I mean, for me, for a first look, it's interesting enough. It's unique enough to definitely get my attention. But you guys know what I always say around here. I'm not going to give my full judgment on something until I actually see it in live action. You know, that's what happened with Zenkaiger. You know, from first impressions, I thought the guy looked like Ronald McDonald with all the red and yellow gold, like the golden arches and shit. Like, he looked way too Ronald McDonald for me at first when I saw him. And I was not the biggest fan of the design concept or color scheme at all. But when you actually, when you actually watch it in live action, and you see the emotion and the lighting and the personality behind it, it really makes it pop even that much more for me now that I've watched it. So I'll definitely give my insight and my thoughts on certain things, but I'm not going to give my full judgment until I actually see this in action in front of us, or just much better HD quality photos than just the far back of a poster where somebody just plastered this on there. You know what I mean? So we'll see what happens, guys. But I want to know your thoughts. Kamen Rider Revice, first impressions. Let your thoughts certainly be known in the live chat or the comment section box below, ladies and gentlemen. And with that, guys, I think that will do it for all of our topics here today at A+ Morphinominal, guys. So thank you very much for joining us. Blossom, in regards to some of these comments, Revice is kind of scary. Yeah, he does look a little menacing, doesn't he? Maybe not like your first thought of superhero when you see him. He does look almost villainesque to a certain extent. Like, this guy should be almost the bad guy for the series, just based off of that alone. Blossom says, I'm not ready to say goodbye to my Toma yet. Yeah, as you know, as much as you are an artist, along with you know, an author as well, Blossom, I'm sure Kamen Rider Saber has really hit you in the feels, has really pulled at your sort of creative heartstrings. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm sure you are pretty bummed to have to see it go by. Yusai, what's up, Yusai? Going back to the trailer for Superhero Senkai. He says, Doggy is that guy no matter what iteration of Sentai Power Rangers that he's in. However, SPD's Doggy is definitely a superior suit. Yeah, I agree. Disney put money into that dog, and Japan has yet to match there. Yeah, I would agree with you there. The Doggy Kruger suit for Power Rangers is by far the superior. Let's see here. Enrique says, in the trailer, I saw the 2 Q Rangers and Zenkaiger's Shinken Green in the trailer. Yeah, they definitely do pop up. They definitely do pop up in here from time to time. You definitely get to see it in the trailer. There's a huge barrage of different Super Sentai teams in there, for sure. All right, guys. Thank you very much for certainly coming through today. Looks like we got a farewell from Frankie. He's out of here. Take care, Frankie. Hopefully we'll see you next week, man. Thank you very much for certainly coming through, as always. All right, guys. And with that out of the way, if anything, we'll go ahead and start transitioning over to your guys' live viewer questions. You guys know how we do around here each and every week. Feel free to submit your questions over throughout the week if you'd like to a+morphinominal@gmail.com. Again, a+morphinominal@gmail.com. Whether it's an episode you watched, whether it's a a bit of news or article that you happen to read over the weekend, maybe a panel that you watch. If you guys have any questions or thoughts that you want to go ahead and share, submit them at any time over to aplusmorephenomenal@gmail.com. Again, it just really guarantees that your comments or questions certainly don't get passed up or missed in the live chat. So let's see what we got here. We got a couple today. Jessica Friedman. Hey, Adam, do you think we will know which Super Sentai will become Power Rangers next? When do you think we will know? And would you like to see a new generation of SPD Rangers one day? So usually when it comes to Super Sentai adaptations, if we are going to get one after Dino Fury, it's probably not going to be dropping until the summer of next year. We probably really won't have any information or details until sometime next year. So we definitely have a while to go. Listen, unless Illuminati wants to hit us with another reveal, you know, they were the ones to let us know that Real Soldier was going to be adapted into Dino Fury. And a lot of people discounted them, and we got Real Soldier as Dino Fury. So yeah, maybe if anything, I would assume Illuminati would be the one to announce it. But I wouldn't expect that till next year. And would I like to see a new generation of SPD Rangers one day? Yes, maybe not. You know, it would be really cool if Jonathan Entwistle, if he, I feel like when it comes to SPD, just based off of, heck, maybe even Time Force, just the idea of like time cops or space cops, I feel like that's a concept that can be really introduced to any Power Rangers series, whether you're taking Super Sentai footage or even adapting something. So yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing a new generation of SPD Rangers one day. I think maybe Jonathan Entwistle could pull off something like that if he certainly wanted to. Maybe not a whole entire team, but just knowing that there's a space police force out there, and maybe introduced to a new generation, new costumes and things like that might pop in. Who knows? I wouldn't mind seeing that one day. Marcelino Vasquez has a couple questions coming through. When do you think Cat will be introduced in Boom Comics, especially since almost all the storyline from MMPR Season 2 has been used, and Zeo Crystals, which debuted during MMPR Season 3, have a big role in the Unlimited Power story? I think if anything, I would maybe expect Cat to pop up maybe after this storyline, like maybe after the Imperials and this Lord Zed storyline that they currently have going on right now. I wouldn't mind seeing Cat coming into the fold, and maybe seeing eventually Kimberly kind of depart. But we'll see what happens. I mean, you know, with Matt being the Green Ranger in the comic books, I am curious as to if there's even any future involvement, or if maybe the stresses of everything that's happened with Kimberly as of late, if that forces her to maybe want to leave the team type of thing. You know what I mean? So yeah, I do think that Cat will eventually be introduced. I think Ryan Parrott probably is eventually planning for that. Maybe after this summer storyline with the Imperials and things like that wrap up, maybe that'll be a route that he certainly goes. If Hyperforce were to make a copy and paste of Season 1 in a visual format for fans who don't like RPG styles and can't take it seriously, would you prefer they go the route of animation or comic book style? That's a tough one, Marcelino, because I'm perfectly okay with both. You know, my issue would be, like, for me, when I think of animation, oh man, I wouldn't mind seeing Hyperforce animated. I would like to see him in both. Like, either or will work for me. If I had to choose, though, I would say animation. It's not my first route for, like, if Power Rangers was going to go ahead and release their very first animated series, I don't know if I would make Hyperforce my first. It would be cool. I think they could probably pull it off as a first, but I'm still leaning towards the anthology series that I would like to see, to at least allow it focus on several different sort of Power Ranger iterations, different teams, if you will. So I wouldn't mind an anthology series first, but Hyperforce should get an animated series or at least a comic book series. I would love to see that. Even though we might be deviating away from the Sentai footage, there are still fans who are sad, not because they think Power Rangers need Super Sentai to survive, but because Power Rangers and Super Sentai have worked together for so long that they actually help each other like brother and sister. In the beginning, Power Rangers had cut out other certain text, actors, and visual effects, but nowadays Japan helps out. For example, the Magi Ranger opening theme was filmed by New Zealand crew, and both Kamen Rider and Super Sentai have PR stunt actors bringing new style to the fights. Would you agree? I mean, I do agree. I don't necessarily know, though. And maybe when it comes to the stunt actors, yeah, there probably still very much is a massive link. But I don't know how much they still to this day rely or depend or help each other out currently, I don't really know how that works out, except for maybe, like I said, maybe like you said, maybe the second unit directors, maybe some of them have dabbled in Super Sentai stuff in the past, and are certainly helping out when it comes to the choreography. So who certainly knows? So I don't know if that help that might have happened in the past is still happening as of today. But for me, I get the idea of not necessarily people being sad that Sentai footage won't be used, but just the idea that they've worked together for so long. Because I do think that there is something that I think is really important in that aspect. And it's something that we've talked about before in regards to when we did our video for the potential Hasbro and Toei split. One of the things that we said was, when it comes to the idea of realizing that Power Rangers may not use Super Sentai anymore, that does sting for some people, that does pull at the heartstrings, because of the fact that when you think Power Rangers, if you've been in this fandom for a while, you automatically think Super Sentai, right? Like there is something coherently just connected with Power Rangers and Super Sentai. Power Rangers, you wouldn't have Power Rangers if it wasn't for Super Sentai to certainly begin with. There is something about being a part of this fandom that just the idea of knowing that whether it's footage or not, the idea of what's the next adaptation going to be, right? What's the next suits that they're going to use? What's the next Zords that they're going to use? That really determine sort of sometimes our level of enthusiasm for an upcoming series of Power Rangers. So they've always been connected. And I definitely do think that outside of just using footage, because of the fact that they've been connected and together for such a long time, that's pretty meaningful for some people. They've enjoyed that partnership over the years, whether or not it's led to great or terrible Power Rangers series. The fact of just that relationship being worked together, I think, does go a long way for fans that want to see Super Sentai continue to certainly be used, right? Because when you look at how much footage Power Rangers is using now, shout out to, was it at Julian Doe, I believe, over on Twitter. They posted, let me see if I downloaded it or not. I can't remember if I downloaded it or not, but it was a great graph to kind of showcase how much footage is actually being utilized these days for Super Sentai. Like people that complain about that. Here we go. People that complain about the idea that, they don't want Super Sentai footage. They don't want Hasbro and Toei to split and not use Super Sentai footage. We're practically almost there, right? Like when you look at it, this is what they came up with per episodes from Dino Fury this year. They broke down how much original footage was there and how much Sentai footage was actually shown. And you can see in no episode have they ever utilized more than 4 minutes of Super Sentai. So you get a huge barrage of original percentage when it comes to how much footage is actually shown compared to how much Sentai footage is actually utilized in the episode alone. So I think the argument, definitely like Marcelino is referring to here, goes deeper than just the idea of using footage. Because clearly, as Power Ranger fans, we can't be that attached to the idea of Power Rangers using Sentai footage because of the fact that they barely use it these days. As you can see, no more than 4 minutes per episode of Sentai footage is used when it comes to Dino Fury these days. And look how much we're enjoying Power Rangers. You know what I mean? So it's not necessarily even so much the idea of footage maybe not being used that people truly care about. Maybe it is the idea of just that partnership going away and the usage of wondering what costumes and what Zords are they going to use that I think people really gravitate towards. Because I feel like as a Power Ranger fan, yes, clearly we're all excited once a series drops and we're watching the show, but I feel like a lot of that enthusiasm and stuff gets built up based off of what Super Sentai series they're going to be utilizing. You know what I mean? So I think maybe that attachment that we have to Power Rangers definitely goes a little bit deeper than just using footage or not, because I think the idea that they're clearly not using nearly any Sentai footage and we're still loving the show, I think if they were not to use any original footage at all, I don't think we would even care. I don't think we would even care. I think what we care about is the suits and the Zords and how they're adapted into a storyline, and maybe those interpersonal connections that we just have. That Power Rangers is inherently Super Sentai, right? It just comes from that, and people want to keep that together over the long haul. And so I get it. I get it that it maybe speaks to people a little bit differently than it does others. But yeah, there definitely is more to it for sure, Marcelino, than just the idea of footage that fans are sad about. So you're definitely onto something there. Let's see here. Power Rangers Legacy has a couple of comments and questions. What are some of your favorite story arcs from Power Rangers or Sentai as of recent or a decade ago? I'll go back to Go Busters. I really love Go Busters' story arc. The idea of these three kids that sort of got left behind by their parents due to this scientific disaster or accident that winds up happening at the lab. Them sort of being brought up and trained their whole entire life to go ahead and take down this evil entity and try and save their loved ones, if you will. I just thought from a family sort of story arc, the Super Sentai for Go Busters really hit me. So I was always a big fan of that one. And also Tokuger's story arc of just the idea of imaginations being so powerful. Like even the story arc for the villains, the shadow line that we wind up getting in there, I really enjoy. So that was always one of my more powerful and favorite story arcs that we wind up getting. I even really love the story arc for Kichiro and Kairi from Lupin Pat. Lupin Ranger versus Pat Ranger. I enjoyed that story arc a little bit as well. The fiery red, right? The hot-blooded red, if you will, with the cool, calm, collective Phantom Thief. Always like that story arc between them. So they've always had some really great ones. The Garza story arc with the Crystallians from Kara Major, solid stuff. So yeah, there's plenty. Power Rangers, man. Let's see here. Man, Power Rangers always had a plethora of ones that I enjoy. One that was not necessarily my favorite, but I've always wanted to find out more about, and that's one of the reasons probably why I'm so invested in this David Yost sort of revival series. I want to know what happened to Billy after he went to Aquitar over in from the Power Ranger, the Alien Rangers. I always wanted to see, like, after he left. I can't remember if they ever dabbled in the comic books in any form or another, or what. But I really would like to see David Yost's perspective on Billy and whatever happened to his character afterwards. This is one of the big reasons why I've really been wanting to see this damn revival show of his for such a long time. He says, "Are you still amazed that Dino Fury has started the transition from Nickelodeon cable TV to Netflix? Does it feel so refreshing to actually watch new episodes of Power Rangers without any commercial breaks? And does it feel like the show has gotten longer? Still, still the same?" Yeah, I'm still amazed. I think this has been a great transition from from Nickelodeon over to Netflix. Still confusing, I think, for some fans to figure out where the next episode. I know we know where the next episode is clearly going to drop on Netflix, but that transition of are they all coming to Netflix first? Are they all coming to Nickelodeon first? Who knows? I will say this past week, No Pink Spandex, which has always been a great place for Power Rangers, they did go ahead and put an update on their Facebook page along with their Twitter account. I saw it on Twitter that said that there was an update that let me see if I can pull this up for you guys in case you haven't seen it. Let me I'm gonna pull this up on Twitter for you guys. Oh, here we go. Okay, got it. Let me go ahead and pull this up for you guys. This is from No Pink Spandex. If you can see it, I don't know. They posted this June 22nd. They said, update on Power Rangers Dino Fury. There will be new episodes coming out fall 21 on Nickelodeon. Update on Power Rangers Dino Fury. There will be new episodes coming out fall 2021 on Nickelodeon. Let me just explain why, if anything, I have not posted this. Or why we didn't pull this up as a storyline. The only reason why I say this is, where's their source? Where are they getting this information from? Like, I wish that they might have further elaborated on this, like per one of our sources or per this article. There's no source here. I'm trying to like go down the list and say like, where's their article? Like, like for me, this is what I'm talking about, guys. When I say vet your sources, right? Like, even though yes, we have seen No Pink Spandex deliver great content for us in the past, where's your source, man? Let us know. Is it from your source? Is there not an article? Is there some place that you read this that's reliable? So I don't know. Again, that's one of the reasons why we didn't put this up on our channel as an actual story, because of the fact that it's not, you can't really confirm it. While No Pink Spandex has definitely been a great, Koala says Hasbro said it. Where? For me, I would like to see the source or the article. If Hasbro has said that there will be new episodes coming out in fall 2021 on Nickelodeon, I would like to see that. So I haven't seen it yet, so that's one of the reasons why I haven't brought it up. So we'll see. We'll see where they go, right? If anything, we've kind of talked about this. If Netflix is getting an episode 12, it makes me wonder, are we getting the last batch of Koala says in an article. Okay, where's the article? Koala, can you please send me a can you please send me a link? If you have a link to it in an article for a toy, okay, well, that's why I'm gonna need an article. I'm gonna need the article. I'm gonna need the link. And I just think, again, if you're No Pink Spandex, if you're going to update us on something like that, they've always done a great job, right, of telling us where their source is per CEO Goldner, from, fourth quarter or first quarter, investors call type of thing, right? They're always great about supplying their sources. So I would like to see where the source of that is from No Pink Spandex, because they seem pretty adamant that new episodes are going to be dropping on Nickelodeon. Not to say that they're wrong, but I'm not going to broadcast that to everybody without extra details. You know what I mean? So maybe they are right. We clearly do not know. He says, I don't have one, but was for the weapon. So for the Chroma Saber, let's do some, let's see what we can find. Was that the Chroma Saber? Chroma Saber Dino Fury toy? That was the closest thing that I remember hearing them say 4 days ago. CNET. I wonder what article they were looking at, because I got one from CNET that's talking about it. There's one from Walmart. Maybe there was like a press release from a press release for it, maybe. Rangercommand.com. Yeah, it says, oh, there we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. See, I guess my question would just be, this is my question. My question would just simply be, if that's the case, why didn't No Pink Spandex just add this article or add a link to this article? So it says, this is, I'm assuming this is the press release. But don't forget to catch episodes 1 through 11 of Power Rangers streaming on Netflix now, and mark your calendars for brand new Power Ranger episodes coming out this fall 2021 on Nickelodeon. There it is. There it is. So yeah, no pink spandex, man. If you're going to be posting stuff like that, do me a big favor. Put your source, man. Put your source. Okay, so there you go, guys. From the press release, for that alone. It's so for the press release, it does seem as though, according to the press release for the Chroma Saber, they not only mentions episodes 1 through 11 on Netflix, but also the fact that fall 2021 new episodes on Nickelodeon. So how is that going to work? Right, we're getting a new episode 12. I am curious. This is where we start speculating a little bit. I wonder if, can they double dip? Right? Can you double dip? And what I mean by that is, can you drop all the new episodes on Netflix, and then when it comes back from hiatus, put those episodes also on Nickelodeon when it comes back? Right? Like, there's a part of me that's kind of very much under the impression that Netflix might drop all the episodes before it comes back. And then when it comes back to Nickelodeon, when it's supposed to during its normal hiatus, maybe they will start playing episodes 9 through whatever until they end off their series and their run. The fact that they say brand new episodes, though, does make me wonder, would that technically have been considered a new episode then? If it's already aired someplace else. You know what I mean? Can you still label that new episodes on Nickelodeon if it's come somewhere else? So I don't know. This does make it even more confusing. I wish that they hadn't made this a damn announcement, because now it feels even a little bit more confusing to me here for the future of the rest of the half of the season. Granted, Nickelodeon does have their contract through 2021, so the idea of putting episodes still on Nickelodeon wouldn't surprise me. But it does make me wonder if Hasbro can double dip. Can you put all the new episodes on Netflix before it drops on Nickelodeon? Because my question would just be, unless they're just doing this for the fans, if you are going to have new episodes on Nickelodeon, like officially new episodes that haven't yet aired on Netflix, why give us the new episodes on Netflix anyway right now? Why not just wait? You know? So we'll see. The plot thickens. I kind of agree with Thomas here. Episodes 12 through 23 should come to Nick since episodes 1 through 11 are already on Nick. And that's where my first official thought process was. We're going to get episodes 1 through 11 on Netflix. And then when the Nickelodeon hiatus ends, we'll get episodes 12 through 22 or whatever the case may be. But the fact that just recently, No Pink Spandex also revealed that we're getting episode 12. No, it wasn't. It was Power Morphicon online posted the idea coming soon, episode 12 to Netflix. So now we're getting episode 12 to Netflix. So again, I don't know what that means. You know, like I said, unless it's the idea that they can technically still label them new episodes on Nickelodeon because they haven't aired on Nickelodeon before, even though they might have already aired on Netflix. The plot thickens, guys. The plot thickens. So we'll keep you posted. We'll keep you posted as more information winds up dropping, though. But yes, to answer your question, Power Ranger Legacy, because we went on the tangent, I am amazed that Dino Fury is on Netflix. I'm super pumped. Are you still keeping up with the current running Super Sentai series? And do you think it's a show that everyone must watch or has things that don't really make sense or should be aware of? So yes, I am still watching Zenkaiger. Power Rangers Legacy says, I think No Pink Spandex is a troll. I mean, who knows? Who knows? Adam says, I think I'm getting the feeling that MPS is one of those people who don't really care about Power Rangers. They're just posting for attention or whatever. I feel like No Pink Spandex has been around for quite some time, though. You know, I feel like I've had some pretty favorable tweets from them and things like that. So I don't really know the people behind No Pink Spandex. So again, I would just ask, they've always been so good about putting their sources and where they're getting their information. So it just felt weird that they just went ahead and plastered that information without any link or any reference to where they got their news from. So, you know, they usually are pretty good about that. So I'm kind of interested. But yeah, am I still keeping up with the current running Super Sentai series? Yes, I am. I'm currently watching Zenkaiger. We currently have videos on a weekly basis. Even though I will say this, my viewership for my Zenkaiger videos have dropped dramatically. Like I want to say Zenkaiger episode 1 had like 400, maybe 500 reviews. But now, like my past episode of Zenkaiger episode 16, I'm barely breaking 100 these days. You know, I don't know if it's the return of Japanime back to YouTube that has just destroyed everybody's Super Sentai algorithms. Like if everybody's just flocking to Japanime, and again, no disrespect to him. I mean, the guy's been around for years. He got great content. He's been around for a while. I certainly missed the guy while he was definitely gone, but his arrival back into the segment of Power Rangers and Super Sentai fans have really, I think, effed up my algorithm, to be honest with you. I think I've lost a ton of viewership because of him. But who knows? I don't know if, or maybe it's just a lack of, maybe people don't just like my reviews. Who knows? Maybe they don't like the way I talk about Zenkaiger. Maybe because I'm not like a sheep and I'm a follower like so many other people that just full on love everything that they watch. I tell it like it is, and maybe some people can't handle the truth for that matter sometimes, but you know, it is what it is. Zenkaiger, is it a series that I would recommend? I guess it would just be depending on what your level of love for comedic seasons of Super Sentai are about. If you like more comedy, less focus on storyline, not to say that they're not focusing on storyline. I mean, we're only into what, episode 16, so we got at least 30 more episodes to certainly go. It certainly still has a way to improve. I mean, look at what happened with Saber, right? I feel like people were not feeling that series, and then it eventually improved and people kind of came back to it. I'm wondering if Zenkaiger is going to be that type of series. So if you like sort of the overly comedic, kind of chaotic, we'll dabble in storyline when we can type of mentality, Zenkaiger certainly might be up your alley. If you like that sort of witty side banter, you know, one of the more unique Sentai seasons, if that's the type of stuff that you like, check out Zenkaiger. While it's certainly not always, for me, it's not my strongest season. Like if I had to grade it right now, I would probably watch, if I had to grade it right now, I would probably probably a C plus right now for me. It's a little bit better than Real Soldier. I'm enjoying it. I would probably put it at maybe like a C plus right now, maybe a C. But that's passing to me. That's a passable season for me. But that's just as of right now, 16 episodes in. It has fluctuated. I want to say it probably was, when this season started, was maybe a D, C minus for me. But it's definitely has come around since we've had Stacy to Kaiser introduced. The past 2 episodes I feel like have been pretty solid and enjoyable ones. So it's definitely have bumped up my grading for the series so far. So I'm at a C plus right now, but this is definitely the type of series that can kind of go either way. It just really depends. And Attila, thank you for bringing me up. She says, do you think your views dropping also has to do with people being able to go outside now and aren't staying in to watch TV or shows or streaming services? I do think that that's probably something that has a lot to do with it. The idea of things opening back up, people not necessarily being indoors. And I think also another part, probably Attila, on top of that, could also be just the idea that a lot of these subgroups have been taken offline. It's maybe a little bit harder, a little bit more difficult for people to find these episodes to even watch to begin with, to now want to even watch reviews, if you will. But listen, I will say this, a part of it is on me because I can't compare myself to other people. I think that sometimes as a YouTuber, sometimes you fall into that funk of watching the success of other people's channels and falling into that funk of, what am I certainly doing wrong, right? Like when I look at Japanime, homeboy's got like thousands of subscribers, and I just look at my subscriber count, I'm at 800, right? So the viewership is always going to be significantly different, always. So there's no reason for me to compare myself to Japanime, but I do think his return maybe has drawn some viewers away. I think the idea of it not being as easily accessible has drawn people away. I think the idea, like you said, Attila, the world opening back up has drawn people away. So it's one of those things too. It's just, it does make one consider or reconsider the idea of, should I even continue doing Super Sentai reviews if I'm just going to get 100 views here or 100 views there type of thing in regards to it. So it is something I continue to struggle with. Again, this is, mind you, this is not shitting on Japanime. I love the guy. I think he's great for the fandom. I think he's great for this niche that we're in. But I just think, there's only considering how small our niche is, sort of thing, once more people start getting into it, then it starts, pulling at people's viewerships from time to time, sort of thing. So that's really all I'm trying to certainly imply there. So we'll see. I don't know if this is just a season that maybe people aren't that fond of, that they haven't watched too much of. And maybe that's why, but so we'll see if is this end of season. But again, it's really going to be based on of what your preferences are when it comes to Super Sentai seasons. Adam Pereira's got a couple questions. He says, we talked about this a lot, but whose fault for not giving us a full morph sequences in Power Ranger team-ups as of late? Nickelodeon, Saban, or the writers? We have the same writers from Ninja Steel to now with Dino Fury, while now owned by Hasbro. Do you think the Beast Morphers crossover was rushed? Most of it was Sentai footage, unfortunately. Whose fault is it for not giving us the full morph sequence? I think that's a good question. I wouldn't put it necessarily on Nickelodeon. I think if anything, I think it has more to do with maybe the writers. And again, I'm not going to crap on the writers or anything like that, but I think it's the fact of there's so much in your script, right? There's only but so much time that you have to tell the story that you want to tell. that full sequences take a while, you know? Full sequences take up valuable seconds and valuable minutes that you could be utilizing towards telling the story that you want to tell. So I think in that regards, that might come down to the writers in the sense of, maybe, or whoever's doing the post production, maybe, the writers and the showrunners may be sitting down and thinking to themselves, we only have but so much limit in an episode. How many morphs have we had this episode? Have we already had a full sequence morph in this episode? If we're morphing for a second or third time, does it make sense to have another long morph, or should we just do with the flash morph? So I think a lot of it comes down to how much time you have in the episode to tell the story that you want. And if you want more of your focus to be on the story, then maybe the flash morphing sequences work better instead of the full morphing sequences. While I'm a big fan of full morphs, I don't think that they're always needed. I think Dino Fury has given us a really good balance of that. Very early on in the season, we've had a lot of great full morphs, but it's okay every once in a while to just hit us with the brief morphs, if you will, flash morphs. Do I think the Beast Morpher crossover was rushed? I think when it comes to the Beast Morpher crossover, I think they just really picked a Sentai adaptation that just asked a lot of them, to where maybe their own budget could have even done a little bit better. Like, going back to a lot of that Super Sentai footage, some of that worked, some of it didn't. I think it was just a very bold and big crossover to try and attempt, and maybe for some people it didn't work. I didn't mind it. I personally didn't mind it. I definitely would have liked to have seen maybe a full morph sequence for that of like Jason. But I think based off of, listen, I always think that if you're going to be doing big crossover events, or if you're going to be adapting movies, don't try and adapt the movie into one episode. That's the type of stuff that should be a to be continued moment, and an expanded moment into 2 episodes, because then you're just doing yourself a disservice. So I can see why some people would feel, yes, it definitely was morph, because I think it was a very bold adaptation that they tried to do in a very small amount of time. So I guess, yeah, I guess you could say it probably was rushed, and maybe for some people it felt that way also. Since Super Sentai, since Power Morphicon just ended this past weekend, what were some of your favorite panels you got to check out, and which ones you wish you could have happened this year, but maybe next year if Power Morphicon becomes a live in-person event again? I want to see another Forever Red panel. I definitely do. Favorite panels, I like the one that Liz hosted with the women of Power Rangers. I think it was it SPD Pink that they had there along with somebody else? I can't recall who was there. That was a fun panel. The Beast Morphers panels were fun. They did one for the heroes and villains. I was a big fan of both of those. Shout out to Campbell Cooley, who gave A+ Opinions a little bit of a shout out in his panel. They were talking about Scrozzle, and he remembered I referred to Scrozzle as comparing him to a cockroach. The fact that this man survives everything, like just when you think Scrozzle's done for, he manages to pop back up and find himself playing a bigger role in anything. So yeah, he always reminded me of cockroach, but I love how Campbell Cooley brought that up in the panel. So yeah, he did do a brief A+ opinion shout out for us categorizing Scrozzle as a cockroach, which I thought was pretty funny. Tom says, I'm going to head out, going to watch the Illuminati live stream. Tell him I said hello over there. Tell the boys A+ Morphinominal says, what's up? I might jump in there after we wrap up here. Other panels that, I am looking forward to next year's live. I think for me, that's really where a lot of my enthusiasm was. I didn't really get a chance to watch many of the Power Morphicon onlines this year. I don't really know how well they actually did when it comes to their viewership. There are some panels I'll have to go back and actually catch up on. But if anything, to be honest, it kind of made me really miss the viewing globe that the Illuminati and that they all came together. Toku Nation came together and did for YouTubers and Power Ranger fans last year. I thought that was really, really fun. Even though I didn't really have a part in it, I thought that was pretty neat. So it did make me miss the viewing globe. So yeah, so we'll see. I'm looking forward to the live interactions though. What announcements or surprises did you discover at this year's online event? Probably the preview for episode 12. I was not expecting them, especially on the very first day of the convention, to go ahead and drop a preview for episode 12. I was not expecting that at all. AJ's got a couple questions. Are you glad that Void Knight is the only big bad right now for Dino Fury? Really like that he has more of a personal vendetta by wanting Sporex in order to save his lover, Santora. Yeah, I do like Void Knight as the only big bad as of right now for Dino Fury. If anything, I would assume Santora might go on to become Precious from Dino Fury, but I could be absolutely wrong in that. But that's just the vibes that I've been getting. So there might be a bigger bad outside of Void Knight that winds up coming from this. But I have loved the way that they've utilized Void Knight so far. Giving us a little bit of a mystery, seeing what he's fighting for, adding a little bit more of a human element, right? More layers to him instead of just villain of, we need to destroy the Power Rangers, right? He's got a motive. And anytime you got a villain with the motive that thinks he's doing what he's doing for the right reasons, that goes a long way for putting together a great villain. Now that it's been a year since Kamen, what do you think makes the show stand out from past Sentai seasons? And if Hasbro and Toei split doesn't happen, if Kamen were adapted into Power Rangers, would you like it to have elements from the past Sentai season, but not too much? I mean, really the only elements that I would really like it to adapt, if it were to be adapted, would just be the costumes and the Zords. The idea of Garza, I wouldn't mind sort of that family drama or that family trauma, I should certainly say, for that adaptation. Like if storyline adapted to come over, I would be completely open for that. What stands out at this show for me? One, I loved all the characters. I think all the characters really worked for me. I love the fact that how lighthearted it was, but underneath that lightheartedness, there were some really great messages and some really dark storytelling in a sense. I mean, I don't want to spoil storylines too much, but the idea of like, as a kid, having your memory sort of wiped clean and you living this life that's never been true to you, I think that's deep and that's dark, right? To see what it's kind of shaped and the darkness has kind of shaped and changed you into, and the vendetta that you've had to other people because of that, man. I think really goes a long way. And then to realize it when it's too late, man, I was really impressed by Kamen. And I think for me, what continues to jump out at me is how the smallest person on the team in Juru ultimately was just the strongest. And not even so much that, but just how open he was to listening to his comrades and putting his teammates in great positions to succeed. I think is just fundamental on being a great leader, and just allows Drew to continue to stand out to me more and more. Great villains with Garza, Yodana, I don't know. I just thought they did a really great job of making it lighthearted, making it a very fun, a season that you can laugh at, but also really pulls at your heartstrings and really focuses on its storytelling throughout the entire season. I was really impressed with it. I was really impressed with Kamen. If I had to grade Kamen, it's probably like a B plus for me. It's up there. It's up there. I would definitely recommend it to anybody because it felt like it was a very well balanced season. Do you still, this is also from AJ, do you still like the mid-season finale of Dino Fury that we had in episode 8? And why do you think it was so cool and goose-bumping? Plus, why do some Power Ranger fans who are so close-minded very against Morphin Masters and Nexus Prism being all a bunch of mumbo jump? Huh? I'm really confused by this question. Let's go one at a time. Do you still like the mid-season finale of Dino Fury that we had in episode 8? I do. And why do you think it was so cool and goose bumping? I wouldn't say it was goose bumping. I would say if anything was eye opening. You know, the Mick as a race car type of thing was like a little bit too kiddish for me. But other than that, I wouldn't say goose bumping to me, but just eye opening, really. Just getting an opportunity to see how impactful the Morphin Masters are and just really expanding on the lore of Power Rangers in general. And then why do some Power Ranger fans who are so close-minded very against the Morphin Masters and Nexus Prism being all bunch of mumbo jumbo when it came to connecting to the lore of TV series? Maybe it's just a bad taste in their mouth from Ninja Steel. Maybe. Let's see here. Doomsday's got a couple questions. During which era do you think Saban was better at making Power Rangers? Oh, original era for sure. That Zordon era for sure was Saban at his best. Out of the Sentai seasons that you've already watched, which season do you think had the absolute best finale? Oh, best final battle besides Gokaiger? Oh, don't take Gokaiger from me. I probably will still go with Go Buster. Go Buster had a great finale for me. Which PR season and Super Sentai season do you think had the worst theme song? What about the best theme song? Super Sentai for me, best theme song, Tokuger. Ooh. Worst theme song? I am really enjoying Zenkaiger's theme song, though. I really love Zenkaiger's theme song. Worst theme song? I always like Lightspeed Rescues. I don't know if I would say it's the best theme song, but I definitely always like Lightspeed Rescues. Let's see who else we got. We got 2 more sets of questions. L'Oreal's got a couple questions. Which shoe is your favorite so far? going back to Reeboks. It's probably between the yellow, and even though it's not a shoe that I want, probably the pink. Adam Perea says, some people think Dino Fury theme song is crap. I love the song. I guess not everyone likes techno rock music. You know, Indy's not the biggest fan of Dino Fury's theme song either, but I absolutely loved it. I think it makes the show feel like a rock star every time. Any expectations for Dino Fury episode 12? Not really, no. It feels like it's just going to be a more of a character spotlight episode on Izzy. So I'm eager to see just what Tessa does in the episode. Did you see the crossover they did with Yodana and that bimbo yet? If so, what'd you think of it? Oh, that's right. Did that come out already? The Yodana special? If it did come out, I might have to check it out. I don't know if it's available in I don't know if it's available yet in English subtitles. If it is, I'm gonna watch it though. But I haven't checked it out yet. Adrian Perez says, hey, Adam, as I'm watching this, I'm getting ready for my bachelor party with my friends. Hey, enjoy, Adrian. Hope you have a good time, man. What did you guys think of Power Morphicon that was virtual this past weekend? What panel stood out that was so enjoyable and fast you wish you got to see it? Again, I didn't really dabble too much in the online panels this year. I kind of missed the viewing globe a little bit, and I kind of missed in person. I will say this: if there is one that I want to go back that I missed that I do want to watch, it's definitely Ninja Storm. Just because of the fact that, if anything, I wanted to see what they did for Pua. If they talked a little bit about him. So that is one that I do still want to go back and watch that I have not watched. But the Beast Morpher stuff is one that I really did enjoy. I miss that cast so much. I love this cast at Dino Fury, don't get me wrong, but I love seeing this Beast Morphers cast just out in the world and doing their thing now. With episode 12 preview of Dino Fury already released, if you could put your money on it, what surprise or reveal do you think that might happen? I don't think we're going to get too many big surprises. Maybe, if anything, maybe a reveal further into the relationship between the Garcias. I don't necessarily know if this is the episode that they're going to focus on the Javi and Warden Garcia situation or not. But I do hope it puts maybe some perspective for us as viewers into what that relationship is like, not only between father and daughter, but also father and son, and maybe just the siblings themselves, Talking about the panels, AJ does say, he says the Ninja Storm panel was amazing. I tweeted about it the entire time. Pua's tribute was great. Sally, aka Tori, cried. I'm sure she did, man. I'm sure she did. I wouldn't surprise me if they were all pretty close. That's sad. That's sad. But it is one I definitely want to check out. Why do you think Dino Fury is so good right now compared to Beast Morphers and the Neo Saban era seasons? And what do you wish was improved or better than what we have right now in Dino Fury? Well, I will just I will say, to me, what has made Dino Fury so good right now compared to Beast Morphers, maybe lack of Saban involvement. Probably also the idea that Hasbro's probably offered them more creative freedom. Again, I like both seasons. I thought Beast Morphers was a great appetizer to certainly lean into Dino Fury, to let us know, like, hey, Beast Morphers, it's a changing of a guard. You can kind of see the changes being implemented in that season, if you will. But then when you get to Dino Fury, you see Hasbro, their feet under them, pulling the trigger on more creative decisions, releasing those creative handcuffs that we talk about all the time. So I think it's a combination of that. Same writers, right, that we've seen from Ninja Steel and other terrible seasons of Power Rangers, but clearly doing a much better job this time around. Granted, there are some episodes that kind of fall by the wayside for some people, may not necessarily be the best, but I find it hard to believe that it's not a much needed improvement. I think that they've given them a lot more creative freedom, Hasbro has, in regards to it. So I do think that's why Dino Fury is so good right now. Changing of the guard goes a long way. You know what I mean? And what do I wish was improved or better than what we have right now in Dino Fury? If anything, I think taking a risk with more Megazord battles, I think, would be interesting. We've seen them dabble a little bit in very brief glimpses of original Megazord battles, but maybe pushing that envelope on original footage for Megazord would be an improvement I would like to certainly see a little bit more of right now. I think that might come in time, though. Other than that, maybe just continuing to, not that they're not doing a good job on it now, but maybe just continuing to just further elaborate on these characters and who they are. And if anything, continue to give them really enticing storylines. The idea alone that we already have a theory of Amelia being a part of a bigger picture in regards to Void Knight's involvement, right? Like there are rumors, theories about Amelia's parents being Void Knight and maybe Santora, based off of Pop working at Area 62, if you will. I did hear just a fantastic theory going back to Scrozzle and Dino Fury from George Jr. He mentioned on his YouTube channel, he was talking about some theories, and he was thinking that he thinks that he was saying he would love to see Scrozzle having maybe have a comeback appearing in here, thinking that maybe Scrozzle comes from Area 62, maybe he was built there. I feel like we had mentioned that before very early on in our reviews for Dino Fury, that Area 62 very much has sort of that Scrozzle vibe to it. Like if you look at the technology that Scrozzle has utilized, if you look at just what Scrozzle is kind of made of and put together, when you look at Area 62, some of those same aesthetics are kind of there. You know what I mean? So I really liked his theory on Scrozzle. So I think, just making those further connections, whether that be to past seasons, and even if you're not going to make big connections like that, bring some mystery to some of these characters' past and see how they connect into the big overall picture of the series itself. I think as long as you continue along that path and improvement, I'm sure there's other things that they can certainly do as well. But those are just some of the things that I would look out for as the season progresses. All right, guys. I think other than that, though, I think that's it. I think that's all the questions that we have in regards to you guys' live viewer questions. So if anything, let me go. I'll just maybe jump into the comments briefly and see what you guys are saying. AJ, going back to the panels, says Sally, aka Tori, and Pua worked together post Power Rangers as a couple in Shortland Street. Oh, I didn't know that. Both played nurses who fell in love. That's why Sally was so emotional. Oh man, I didn't know Tori went on to be in Shortland Street. So you know what? I might have to check out some of her episodes in there. I did not know. That's kind of cool. Like I wouldn't mind now checking out Shortland Street, maybe just for that storyline. If it's Pua and Sally together. Yeah, Marcelino just further confirms they gave commemoration for both Pua and Grant, aka Lothor and Sensei. Oh wow. The cast was asked for their favorite moments. Yeah, man. Rest in peace, both of them, man. Rest in peace, both of them. That's man, Ninja Storm has had some terrible luck, huh? That's crazy. JB says, what? Going back to theme songs. Yes, I love Zenkaigers as well. Yeah, I really do love Zenkaigers. I find myself dancing to it and singing to it all the time when it comes up. Thomas, going back to possible Toei Hasbro split. I want Zoologer adapted if the split doesn't happen, or Q Ranger. Yeah, Q Ranger is a big popular one these days. I was very much leaning towards Q Ranger. We have mentioned the idea of Zoo Ranger before, but yeah, for me, Kara Ranger's been picking up some steam. So I'm kind of leaning. I like your suggestions, Thomas. I'm leaning a little Q Ranger or Kara Ranger as my choices if they do continue along with it, but we'll see. Going back to Power Morphicon, Datilla says, I'm super stoked for Power Morphicon 2022. This would be my 4th PMC. Damn, girl, you're a regular, huh? I like it. Yeah, hopefully I'll be able to attend next year. I'll definitely try and put some money aside for sure for it. All right, guys. I think other than that, I think that's going to go ahead and wrap it up for us here today. So thank you very much, guys, for certainly checking us out. Again, real quick shout out to Dallas Vintage Toys. If you guys are in the Dallas area or DFW area, Ravi, Rory. What Ravi? Rory? What am I talking about? Jasmine, who played Ravi. Rory, who played Devin, and Abraham, that played Nate, are all going to be at Dallas Vintage Toys today. They're probably there right now signing autographs and doing meet and greets. So if you guys are in the area, go ahead and definitely go ahead and check them out. But other than that, guys, that's going to do it for us here today. So thank you very much. We certainly will be back next weekend, as always, live for you guys every Saturday, live at noon Central Time. If you continue to love our content, especially if you're chilling with us in the live chat, if you haven't hit that like button yet, please go ahead and do us a big favor, hit that like button. And of course, if you revisit this video at any particular point in time, if you want to go ahead and leave comments at the end of the video so we can go ahead and further discuss any topics we talked about here today, certainly feel free to. I'll definitely go ahead and dabble in that conversation with you guys as well. But yeah, I think if anything, also, if you want to join us tomorrow, if you're big fans of Marvel, DC, heck, if you just love television and movies like myself, join us live at noon Central Time on Sundays too for A+ Hero Report. You can find our YouTube channel online too if you'd like to, as we go ahead and round up the news for that week as well. Tuesdays, as always, Toku Tuesdays around here, so you'll get your reviews and your reactions from us, from Saber all the way to Zenkaiger, and as we have other news and information, maybe some other videos for you guys later on this week as well. But other than that, guys, that's going to go ahead and wrap it up for us this week. But other than that, do me a big favor. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. And as always, keep it A+. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. If you enjoy our content and want to be a part of helping our channel grow, become a patron supporter. We have affordable tiers to choose from that offer a variety of exclusive and early access content, from audio files for all of our shows for you to enjoy on the road, access to our Discord community, and plenty of reactions, reviews, character breakdowns, and more. Check us out at patreon.com/A+opinions. And as always, remember, like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification so anytime we drop a brand new video, you will be notified.